You like tacos, buddy?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I have DoorDash app on my phone, and I was scrolling through. I'm like, what I want? Gringos popped up. I'm like, Gringos!
Yeah, nail it.
Dude, I got that dang quesadilla delivered to my house, and
so good.
I was like, man, this is going to spoil me because I'm going to eat Gringos all the time.
A little bit of that coarse salt on the outside of that quesadilla.
Yeah.
I like mine with pork. My mouth is watering. It's hard. It's hard to do an ad when you're hungry. But yeah, when's the last time you've been to Gringos? The Double D tacos are phenomenal. Those are double-stacked tacos with their legendary queso. All the fixing inside. It's not even really a taco. It's just a giant Mexican food vessel that you stuff in your mouth. Burritos. Sam likes the mouth hugger.
Yep.
You are the quesadilla boy. You like all quesadillas, but I think I changed you. You used to be a chicken-only man. Now you go for that delicious pork quesadilla.
Multiple locations, downtown location, obviously, a location over there in the Milk District, a location off of Michigan Avenue. There's a location on UCF.
Indeed.
There is their kitchen that handles a lot of the catering.
Yeah, we didn't talk about catering.
Yeah, and they're like Uber Eats and DoorDash and all the delivery services.
They do all the delivery services, but it's just as easy to swing through. That's what my wife does. She'll do it. She'll call it in and then swing through as she's coming home from work and grab it.
I saw BDM Brandon on the BDM page say that his daughter's birthday was coming up. He's getting Gringos Catering.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah.
And they're great for catering, big or small events. They'll do the small packages where they just drop it off.
You didn't do it.
What?
You're supposed to say big or small. They cater them all or something.
That's not the. They didn't tell me to say that. That's stupid.
Big or small, they'll cater them all from mild to wild.
It's Gringos Locos, multiple locations. Just go to gringoslocos.com.
Do you like beer?
I still like beer.
And sitting down?
Sit your little sexy ass down.
Then do we have an event for you? It's Tom and Dan's Sofa and Suds 2021. November 14th from 2 to 6 p.m. in the heart of beautiful downtown Sanford. Watch businesses from surrounding areas race couches to see who will be this year's reigning champ. Who will be the fastest? Who will bring home the coveted title of crowd favorite? Admission is free, but please no coolers or outside food and drink. VIP tickets just $49 with comp drinks, bathroom access, prime viewing area, and full access to pit row. You've never seen couches this fast. We've never seen couches this fast. Couches shouldn't be this fast. It's Tom and Dan's Sofa and Suds 2021. Brought to you by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Just call Mo.com and Secured Roofing and Restoration. All info at Facebook.com/Sofa and Suds.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
We got Game Show Drew on the line. How you doing, Drew?
I'm good. Good. How y'all?
Excellent audio, Drew.
Very good.
Yeah. Very good. The fastest one in history.
So, Drew, I saw that you sent us something. Daniel started to open it, but then remembered that you told us not to open it, so we have no idea what it is. You still are trying the hardest out of all
That's true.
The goons.
Is that what we're calling it now?
team.
Yeah, the goons.
Yeah. And
I like calling them the goons better than our team. Our team just doesn't. The goons is not as clunky.
Well, then Tom's Sloth, and there are Goonies.
Goonies? Okay, that's fine. I'm Chunk.
Because most of everybody else gave up and have, trying the
Chris
least
Stream,
hard.
we lost Business Baby. That was like 2 years ago. Business Bro.
Who else
I
is
forget
left?
what happened to Business Bro. What are the other bits?
Canadian Josh.
Canadian Josh, I think I made him mad. He's gone now. We got a new Canadian guy, though, now. We got Canadian Ron.
Oh, yeah, but he only came on for a weird job.
Remy.
No,
Remy
that's done. Remy's
PD poster.
Oh, we started a new one with Joey.
We started a new one with Joey. Did you know Remy has a Patreon now?
Yeah, he sent me a message about it.
Yeah, and for $10 a month, you basically get nothing.
Yeah.
So I signed up.
Well, what do you like? You
get to chat in his chat room.
No,
it's just him.
Okay.
Yeah.
$10 a month.
Yeah. I took the $10 from Sam's Patreon. I gave it to Remy.
Yeah,
How many subscribers do you have?
Let's see.
We should make a bet.
Remy has right under 7,000 subscribers right now.
Well, he has a rookie level for $3 a month, amateur level at $10 a month, and VIP for $15 a month.
I went VIP.
You went VIP?
Yeah, I went VIP. What do I get?
I think you may have canceled your account then, because as of right now, he has 0 patrons.
Oh, yeah, I did cancel it. I forgot about that.
So, Drew, how do you want to start this?
So today's episode of ACT Trivia is Halloween themed, so we can just jump right to the questions. And then two fun side gameplay throughout the.
Man, the robot's
Dan. Welcome back to the show to Tom and Dan.
Max Headroom doing our trivia today. Is that
all you need to add is like.
Did I get that right?
You did get that right.
All right.
I was waiting for you to say somebody stop me and say the mask, but you know what? You got it right. You said Max Headroom.
Yeah. Which I never thought was funny or creative or anything. Like I was like, what is this? I hated it back then when it was supposed to be the future, but I was
Would it surprise you to know that I loved it?
well, because I was like, whoa, is it supposed to be like he's a robot from the future? He's just like, stuttering or like
I always thought it was
out?
supposed to be like AI, like a self-aware like computer. It'd come to life.
All right, Drew. Well, your audio stinks, so
This will be
this
great.
is going to be rough.
Does that still sound bad?
Was that your dog or Tom?
That was your dog. Your dog is like an old Jewish man. He's rough. Oh my God! I lost my glasses. Rough. He's standing.
Better?
No.
Let's just be honest. No.
You know what?
What happened with the connection? You used to be good.
Tom is right.
I know.
Tom is right. Not everything can be powered through. So this one, you know what? I'm ending this one.
Hold on. Why didn't you come in today, Drew? Too lazy?
I asked Sam last week if you guys wanted me to come in, and then she said you guys are trying to play it safe. So I guess.
No, I am not playing.
Tom's ratting me out.
I am not playing it.
We never said that.
I don't even wear a mask in public. I haven't since I got vaccinated.
I stormed the Capitol.
I don't know. It's willy-nilly. Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. I can't keep up.
Fair.
All right, Drew, let's start off with the first question.
All right. Category. That's mean, but it's county fair. On Monday's episode, titled Fear the Awkwardness, you talked to Katrina about a scary movie with a fast body transformation. According to Tom, at what pace does the body transformation take place in My 300-Pound Life?
Oof, I don't know this one. It's a great bet.
I got baseballs and cigars.
Tom,
Yeah.
1 month?
No.
I went too short.
I feel like it's a joke answer or something.
I know it's a
lightning
joke.
fast.
It's usually
or
a joke answer.
Yeah, I don't know. We give up.
One corn dog at a time.
No. I'm funny.
Yeah, you're funny, dude. I like that.
I like this bet again.
Yeah.
Or Drew says the funny jokes I make, and then
I love
Just tell me my jokes back to me.
trivia about how funny I am. Go. How funny is
Next
Tom?
question,
Very
this one
funny.
is something you said, Dan. So you should get this one.
Not really.
Category, Tune in Tokyo. On Monday's episode titled The Real Flim Shady, Dan shared a personal life experience. Finish his sentence. You know what's funny? I've signed a lot of boobs, but...
Samantha,
Yeah.
none of them were good?
Correct!
Yeah!
That's true. I've signed a lot of boobs. None of them good. All of them
Bonus point.
disgusting. All of them disgusting. I am the John Cena of disgusting boobs. Allow me to explain. John Cena is a hero. He goes to Make-A-Wish in hospitals all across the United States, making sick children's wishes come true. I have done the same thing for women with horrible breasts.
Bonus point here. What did Tom refer to those boobs as?
El Barfo Disgusto?
Radio boobs.
Oh, yeah, they are. And he's right about that. They are radio boobs. Look down. If you're driving in your car right now, look down. If your boobs are in any way near the gas pedal, you're listening to the radio right now.
video boobs. Hold on, I killed them. All right, next
Radio
question.
boobs.
Podcast boobs and radio boobs.
Next question.
Category, I'm on the can. On the Friday free show titled Juke Away Challenge, you were all talking to Big Tim about gross food. What was Tom's nickname for diarrhea?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, come on.
What is my nickname for diarrhea? Come on, think.
Damn it.
I don't know.
Samantha usually gets these ones,
Yeah,
too.
she does. She listens to us. Nobody else
I've been
does.
zoning you out the past 2 weeks.
I thought you guys are best friends now.
No, I hate everyone here.
Oh.
God damn it. I don't
We don't
What
know.
is it, Drew?
Castleberry, New Brunswick stew.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's 2 for you. You're doing good, man.
Well, he's not winning the answers.
Yeah, no, I'm grading
But
your
I'm
jokes
winning
now.
the joke.
Okay.
I'm grading your jokes, and I'm happy with this
War on
bit.
comedy.
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going, Drew. These are great.
First mini game here. This is the Pumpkin Point Challenge. So I got a little pumpkin here.
Is that Hitler? What is that?
Hitler pumpkin?
Drew Hitler on
Oh,
man.
Yeah, you're canceled.
No. Our ratings went up.
Yeah.
So here's how this game's played. I've got a challenge in here. And we'll take turns. You each get to go. If you do the challenge, you get a point. If you chicken out, no points. If you do a good job on the challenge, 2 points. And you all decide if you did a good job or not.
All right. It was super
God.
confusing. Is it chicken or brave?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first just to get it over with. Let's go.
Director of Doom. Dan, if you had $1 million to make a movie, what would be the story and who would be the villain?
No, if I had $1 million to make a movie, which really isn't a lot of money, I would make a story about a man who just wants to leave his family and be left alone, and the villain would be my wife. I wasn't trying to be funny. That's what I would do. No, that's exactly what I would do. I'd be able to film that. Yeah, I would star in it. I would be the character. I'd explain my stupid dreams and the stuff that I want to do, and people would be like, this guy's crazy, and I'd make it like a documentary, and that I just want to be left alone for the rest of my life under a bridge somewhere.
So do we vote that down?
What are the rules? What are we doing?
Yeah, so he either gets 1 point or 2 points. It's up to you guys. Do you think that's a good scary movie?
I give him 1 point. I want to win.
Yeah, why would we give him more points to win?
I would give myself 2 points because I have to win.
Oh, these are terrible rules. Yeah. I'm going to give everyone a 1.
All right, who's next?
Who's
Can we go
next?
back to
Nobody
trivia?
wants to do this.
I'll go next, Drew.
All right, Tom, go ahead.
Ooh. Monster Mash.
God damn it, this is worse than our Halloween.
You're going to love
This
it.
is why we didn't have him in.
2 for 2. Stinko.
I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna say between
We're voting this one down,
between
guys?
this segment, the segment we did for our Halloween special, and our baseball extravaganza.
It's
with
been a rough
Baldy,
week.
It's been a rough week. Don't expect good content this week. This is a bad week for us.
Well, you gotta go one to a couple
games.
Stinkos.
God, Drew, if you spent less time on shipping us crap and more time on trying to hit the bullseye, we wouldn't be in this mess. I blame Drew.
Listen, Mahomes is going to have a couple interceptions.
Oh,
gonna
my
have
God.
a couple bad
A couple
games.
interceptions. He only got a field goal, Tom. And Drew doesn't
that's
even
gonna
have a
happen.
field goal.
But you're still Mahomes. You remember that.
Write that down. Okay, go ahead.
Here's your challenge here, Tom. It's called Monster Mash. You have to do a dance thing to a famous monster. You can't tell us, and we got to try to guess it.
I don't even know famous monsters that dance.
Yeah, who are the famous dancing
I
monsters?
can tell you right now it's going to be Frankenstein because that's what he walks. That's
Samantha got it.
because he walks like Frankenstein.
I got on the stiffest monster I could think of.
That's just you.
By the way, I was very self-conscious walking
sorry.
to the Halloween special
Yeah,
in front of
that
you guys.
ruined the
sorry.
Halloween special.
That was my fault.
You
Yeah.
guys went too slow, and then I was trying to get there
Have
because
you
we were already
noticed-
late, and I was like, God damn, I'm stiff today. and then
Stretching.
Have you noticed
And
that
then
Sam
Samantha's
has
like-
been doing that to you and I? Like, she'll be like, hey, look at Dan over there chirping. Or she'll be like, oh, walking awfully stiff today. She's doing things to F with us, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
that's
And get in our brains.
that's throwing out negs.
Yeah, she's throwing
yeah,
out
yeah,
eggs.
yeah. I think
Oddly enough, it has made me super attracted to you.
It works.
is that
I'm like,
what
oh
you
my
want?
God, I have this insatiable thirst for the love of my producer.
So Samantha got it.
Do I get 2 points for that?
I'll give you 2. Anything to end the bet, Sam. 2 points.
I don't know the point system
I was going to
anymore.
get up and do a,
Well, just go ahead and do it for Twitch.
Hands down.
Well, now,
What if you got up, pulled your pants down, put your hands behind your head, and Rick Rude? Remember
my
the
God.
wrester Rick Rude? He's dead.
I don't
And you
think
just
so.
did the swivel, the C word for D swivel.
That's the Louis C.K. monster.
you swing it. All right, Samantha's next. I'm not doing it.
All right. Did he hear you, or does he
No,
think we hung up on
he
him?
doesn't understand radio. He doesn't understand that you can't pick a tiny piece of paper out of a goddamn pumpkin on radio.
Art. Just die. Sam, do your best death scene from a horror movie.
And do we have to
Could
guess
it
it?
be
Or?
me listening to this bit?
No, we don't have to guess it. Just got to do a good death scene.
Oh my God, Aries Spears has entered the room. No, I'm dead serious. You think I'm joking? I'm on Master Control. It says Aries Spears has walked into our Zoom room.
Okay, well, let's go to
You
Aries.
want to put him on?
Yeah, let's throw him
Hold
in there.
on, can we?
Yeah, I can put him on. He's coming.
Hold on. this is.
there he is.
We're going down full
road.
full roader.
Ruiner mode.
Aries Spears.
Aries Spears, what's going on, Aries? Yo, what's going
How
on?
you doing? What's good? What's good?
Aries, we got this crazy white guy who does these game shows on our show, and he sucks. And, and we can't get him out of here. You got to help us, man.
Aries, what do you think about doing game shows on radio shows? It seems like they stink.
Yeah, like have you ever been part of a game show on like morning radio or like a television show in a different city you're appearing in?
No. Most of the, in terms of TV shows and game shows, those two to me have always been synonymous together. So I've never done one for the radio.
Have you ever been asked to do?
There he is. This
guest
is the guy.
spots?
Can you see him now, Aries? This is the guy.
Aries!
Look at that
Hey,
guy.
how you doing, man?
Look at
I
that
love
guy.
your stuff.
Look how white
you,
bread
brother.
and
Thank you.
terrible he is. He's the worst person in the world. We hate that guy.
Yeah, Aries. He's trying to do stuff for the show to get famous. Like he's trying to, radio
hustling.
interns.
He's hustling.
It seems like that is the only way it does work in radio, but very rare. Like to the point where it seems like you shouldn't even try because it's real hard to break in, and it's a super amount of work. You got to work for free for a while, and that's how you do make it. But it's so rare that it almost makes me want to tell everybody not to even try. Is that fair enough?
Don't beat them up too bad, man. And nowadays, you need more than one kind of hustle.
So is that
That's true.
So Aries, and okay, if you were going to give advice to any upcoming radio podcast person or whatever, people ask us all the time they want to start podcasts now. I'm like, now? Like it's too late. There are too many. And or even get into comedy. It seems like still the tradition of just going and doing stand up somewhere over and over is still the tried and true way and the only way to get good, right?
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a proven formula, and I think it's really the only formula. I don't think you can cheat the game. So in terms of looking for shortcuts or looking for ways to try to not do it the traditional way, I just don't think it exists or is conducive to your success. It is what it is. You got to roll up your sleeves and tighten your bootstraps and just get in it.
And by the way, Aries going to be at the Orlando Improv, theimprovorlando.com to get your tickets. That's how our guys do it. Hit the website. Get them now. It'll probably sell out.
Yeah,
so you
2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday.
Yeah, and you got to be on that quick. So get them now.
So, but Aries, there are also the social media comedians, and we've talked to a lot of old school comedians that have said oh, these guys aren't going to last. They're trying to get they sell out shows,
But they don't have the content for an hour.
They only have 15 minutes. So how long? But it seems like now
You mean them transgender comedians?
well, whatever they are, it's the people.
That's a big shout out to my man Dave Chappelle with that wonderful stand up, The Closer.
Yeah, what do you think about that and the backlash and everything that's going on with it? Because is
it real backlash?
We have opinions, but we're not stand up comedians. So what's your take from being in it, hardcore in it?
I think Dave is leading the fight, and I hope he continues to lead it because he's the biggest and the greatest comedian of this generation. And I think that it's about time, and I think it's a fight that's been long overdue. I, like him and like most people that are sensible, understand that, you got to understand the difference between jokes and real life. We all have freedom of speech, and comedy is a subjective, artful platform that allows us to use that platform to say what we want to in an effort to make people laugh. And I think that some of that has gotten lost in an effort to push forward an agenda where it's like, come on, man, this ain't that fight. Comedy is under siege right now. And I think that Dave is leading the forefront to saving comedians. We all recognize that, people, regardless as to what your choices are in terms of who you are or who you want to be, you should have that right. You should have that right to be happy. You should have that right to live a life free of any kind of verbal or physical harassment. You shouldn't have to worry about your own safety or your life. And nobody is talking about taking rights away or treating anybody unequally. As a matter of fact, if you want true equality, you have to be able to laugh at yourself and endure like every other person on this planet, and particularly in this country, has had to endure. Black people, we've been the Babe Ruth of victims as far as history in this country, but we still take time to laugh. And unless somebody is trying to take rights away from you or trying to physically harm you, that's a different argument. But that's not what that special was about.
Yeah.
Aries, do you think that because everybody is more sensitive now and, obviously, like, it's easier to offend, it seems like...
we're told that. You know what I mean? It's like most of the people I speak to in real life are not easily offended,
everyone that I know and everyone that's around me, all my friends, are never offended by anything and are not offended.
Well, most of them are too busy and actually, and I mean this in a positive light, self-consumed in the way, meaning like they're self-centric about their own family. They don't really have time to be offended because there's too much stuff going on.
But regardless, I'm going like a different, follow me here. Like, do you think it's easier to be shocking or say things that are taboo now than it ever was? It feels like in the 90s, let's say, like bring back to the 90s, to say something shocking as a comedian, you had to go real far, right? To the point where it's like, oh man, like that's real bad what you said, because it seemed like less people were offended and like there's less cancel culture and all this stuff. But now you could just eke little things out there that are like, oh, like that would never be even funny in the 90s because people would it wouldn't be on the radar. So, like, is it easier? It's kind of like doing comedy at a funeral, like no one's expecting it or something. The audience is easier. So it's like, does it make it? I'm just looking at a different take of it, Aries. Does it make it easier for you guys to like say shocking things on stage because everybody's so uptight nowadays?
Well, I mean, I think because of the climate of today, people are going out of their way to not be shocking. And I don't ever know that we've ever tried to be shocking on purpose. There are different types of styles of comedy. Some people are blues, some people are G-rated, some people are, political. It just depends on your style of comedy. I don't think anybody ever goes out of their way to go, hey, I want to be shocking just for the sake of being shocking. There are comics who just naturally are like that, a la Eddie Griffin, myself, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock. There are people who are really good at pushing the envelope because that's what they do naturally. I don't know when we made the turn to become this moist ass culture. And I think that, like you said, from the 90s below, we were always rough around the edges, creatively and in comedy. But for some reason, somewhere between the early 2000s and where we are today, we just turned into a moist climate. And I don't know what started that. I don't know how that came about. But I think it's been highly unfortunate and been detrimental to the art form.
I got one suggestion for everybody.
All right.
So this is something that needs to be fixed. So obviously, like, we didn't start out walking. We drove to the nicer side of our neighborhood to go
walk back.
No. Like we just drove and then pulled over in front of someone's yard and then started from the nicer side.
Gotcha.
Because from our side, it's few and far between the houses. They get nicer. Like we're technically in the they get part of the, yeah, but we're in the Castleberry side of it. We're what I'm saying.
You got to hit those new neighbors too, the ones that'll be like trying to impress people.
So anyway. This is something like I got a backpack cooler that I put some White Claw in.
There you go.
And I put some, some LaCroix and some kids' juice and water, whatever.
Load it up.
Backpack cooler, Dad. Right. So to get ready for trick or treat. So the problem being is that 10 minutes into the walk, I got a cup full of White Claw. I'm drinking it, and I already had LaCroix all day or whatever. I had to pee. And this is the problem.
You have a tiny bladder, too.
I do, but also it's like everybody, I see other dads walking around and everybody's enjoying, like, maybe, they try to hide it in a cup or some beers, you know what I'm saying? But it's like everybody's kind of like...
Yeti Ween, for sure.
Yeah, openly drinking, and it's cool, right? And everybody's being cool, no one's speeding.
And around here, you see people just walking with beers.
Yeah.
They're not even...
And some I see people everybody's openly drinking.
I have no problem with that. If you're just walking down the street with a beer, I'm okay with it.
Who cares? Yeah. So
mind your business.
I had to pee, right? And now I'm stuck in a scenario where, like, do I ask someone to use a bathroom? Like that doesn't seem like
if you
inappropriate.
knew the people.
No. Yeah, of course.
Now Now I will tell you that they organized, and Andrea brought this up. This is funny. She mentioned it this morning. They had a street festival on Saturday here in Baldwin, knowing that trick-or-treating around here gets nuts. They paid the extra 2 days to have the porta potties left.
Oh, that's
so
brilliant.
We had porta potties lining the streets.
Yeah.
Because they know that S goes bananas in Baldwin, so they just paid to have them. And Andrea goes, whoever voted to do that, or if it was a mistake and they just didn't pick them up on Sunday, they're geniuses, because I dropped in one last night. We didn't talk about this. I dropped in one last night and used it because they got them on the streets.
So if you have a neighborhood that participates and has a front yard party, you got all chip in and buy a porta potty to put on one of your neighbor's front yards.
Brilliant idea.
So the dads could go pee.
You'll make your house the most popular house.
So because this is what happened to me. So
oh, no.
I'm like, God.
And you got a tiny bladder, man.
I do. And because I had half my White Claw, right? Like I filled up my White Claw ice, but I had so much bubbly, and before
you got to drink that down real fast and pee in your own cup.
So I'm like, what do I do? And then Crystal's like, I don't know. You're gonna have to go back in the car and then go pee and then come back and whatever. So I'm like,
you walk into the woods.
There's no woods. Like I'm in the middle.
Castleberry Woods.
No, I'm in the middle of the neighborhood. Castleberry Woods is on the poor side. Like
and there's no. What about just duck behind an inflatable dragon?
No, I mean everybody's in their front yard. There's nowhere to go. And it's daylight outside.
And this is out of your street, so you don't know these people.
No, I know, but also I have no idea. It's not no one I know or anybody that I even a little bit know to ask the bathroom. Anyway, so I walked all the way back to the car. But by the time I got back there, I had to pee so bad that I was like, screw it. I started panicking. I was like, I'm going to pee my pants in my wife's car. So seriously, like it was that bad.
Why not just pee your pants outside of the car and then just walk home? Why sit in the car and pee your pants?
Well,
you gotta stop the freak out, and you gotta at least slap your cheeks and be like, don't get in the car. Just pee your pants standing outside of the car. Don't ruin the car.
Well, then I have to get into the car.
No.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Just pee your genitals aren't out. You just pee your pants outside of the car. You don't have to pee in the car.
I was okay. Like, I got in the car. I started driving to my house, and I'm like, I'm not going to make it.
Then you have to stop the car and get out.
And I'm going like 5 miles an hour because
you're also planking.
The entire there's kids everywhere. I'm like paranoid that some kid's going to run out in front of me.
Run over a kid with a full bladder. That is a horrible Halloween.
So I'm going slow to my house. Dude, I pulled up to my house.
If you hit a kid, do you instantly start peeing yourself just out of pure shock? You know what I mean? Like, you hit something, you're like, ooh.
No, because at that point...
Or does it make it go away and then you rupture your bladder?
Well,
maybe when you're getting booked at 33rd.
When the cops come and you peed your pants, like they're not going to believe that you're sober.
All right, you did this so you don't have to sit in the back of my cop car.
Which I was sober. I literally had half a White Claw, and then I was like, I have to pee so bad. Anyway, I got to my house. I literally left the car running. I ran to my backyard. Like, it didn't even make it to my backyard around my AC. I made it, but I had to go next to my AC. It was that bad. Porta potty. If you have a neighborhood that trick or treats, you got to get a porta potty. That's all I'm saying. Because all the other dads can't enjoy any drinks because you got to pee so bad and you're away from your house, especially if you're the poro going into the nice neighborhood, which seems like most.
And we know you are. We look at your cars and we profile them too.
Oh no, I know. And well, that's the thing. It's like if you live in a neighborhood that doesn't do this, you go to the neighborhood that does it, right? Yeah. So, and then the neighborhood that does it, all the kids are not trick-or-treating. They're staying at their own house, right?
Yeah.
So the rich kids are just at the house.
I get to hear you guys. I knew one guy. He came to my door, and we didn't have any candy, right? But he came to our door, and I looked at him, and I found. You
didn't have any candy?
No.
Why didn't you have
we weren't there. We weren't there for trick-or-treating. We were out trick-or-treating.
Did you put a bowl?
No.
Do the bowl!
No, I did entertainment. I did pumpkins. I did smoke. I did a scary. I was the entertainment. I was like, what you got was a smile. I paid you with a smile.
Oh,
with
cheapo.
some laughter.
You got to put a bowl out there with some candy.
They'll steal it. The first kid will compromise that.
That's a myth. We put a table out and scattered candy on the table, and there was still candy left when we got back.
That
a
lot
candy.
Less. Those were turds wrapped back up.
No. Like, people are respectful, and kids will only take one. Like, it's not back in the day. They'll empty the bowl. That was when the bowl first started.
Do you want to know what the costume was?
What?
And I gave him a pack of Maisie Sour Patch because she had so much candy. I'll just give him her candy, right? He was Island Boy.
Are you serious?
He was keeping like an island. I keep it like an island boy. He's like, I'm staring at the sun. He was doing the whole song. And he just used yellow construction paper for his hair. It's great.
Can we talk about, I know we do this every year, but at what age should you not trick-or-treat anymore? Because...
You want to hear about the age of the island boys?
Yeah, because
I think like 18, 19, 20.
I feel like after 16, like when you could drive... I think trick-or-treating is done for you.
Like, if you have any type of if you have body changes, you're out.
Yeah, okay.
If you
have any sort of facial hair.
Yeah, if you have facial hair or period, you're done.
Yeah. You're right. Well, girls get their period early now.
Doesn't matter, you're out. If you get 12. Your period at 12, you're out. I'm sorry, you're out.
No.
No, you're literally a functioning part of the village now. I put a hard line on that.
Okay. All right.
If you get your period at 11, I'm sorry. You're part of the village. You're part of the adults. You come to the tribal meetings. You got to start pulling your weight. You got to start gathering. You're a gatherer. We are hunters. You are a gatherer. Or I guess now you can choose to be a hunter, right?
So, are you going to be a lifer when it comes to giving out candy and the Halloween decorations?
I have to make some apologies this morning. I will never do another Halloween that I don't dress up. I didn't dress up this year because I didn't have anything to dress up. I wanted to wear the inflatable Voltron costume that we bought, but I think it's in the storage unit. I couldn't find that one. You know the one I'm talking about?
It's in the storage. Yeah,
I wanted to wear that one, but so I didn't have anything, and I felt like I missed out on the fun. So next year I'm going to dress up fully. Like, I'm going to try to do it good.
You should.
I just because May really enjoys it, and we had a lot of fun last night, just like walking around. But now that I know she's in on I think I'm going to be a lifer. I'm adding to this display I'm doing. I'm going to get better costumes for the family. We're going to embrace it more.
See, like, you have more fun decorating your house. Like, I do it for the kids. I don't know.
Yours look good this year, dude.
But once the kids stop caring and, like, they are not into it.
When does that happen for either of us? When do Maisie, when do Tommy and Max, when do we lose? When does that? Because my dad, he never lost it.
No, I know. Some people, like, dude.
My dad was a true Halloween lifer. Like, when I left and went to college, he did not care. He was like, he would still wear his costume. He's still $500 worth of candy if he's way too much money on candy. And
Crystal's mom does the same thing. She decorates, she dresses up, she enjoys giving out candy.
She's awesome. Crystal's mom's awesome.
Like, so some
She's
people,
a sweet person,
even without kids, enjoy that thing. I don't know if I'll be that because I don't. It doesn't matter to me.
It's not that you're anti that. It's just it doesn't show up on your screen.
I don't. The only joy I get is from my sons. If my sons aren't into it, I'm not going to do it. Because I don't care.
Luckily, Tommy says he's into it. Now, where does Max lay on this? Because Maxie does appear to be more of the... Is he more traditional, like, I'm going to dress up like Among Us, I'm the traditional little Halloween boy? That's what he looks like. If Tommy's already like, it's all right, but I'll decorate with you, Dad. Give out some candy.
They both, they both are into it, but Tommy definitely, like, Max likes to go trick-or-treating, get the candy. Tommy was like, hey, I'd like to give out something.
I want to set up the
But I'm saying, once they're not into that, and I'm sure, like, 16, 17, 18, they're done, right? They're going to be out there doing a party or whatever. Partying. I'm not going to get any enjoyment out of sitting, like, all the Halloween decorations and giving out candy.
Yeah, you're not that guy. That's an emotional guy thing. My dad was an emotional guy.
I appreciate that. Because if without the people that did it without kids, there'd be a lot less people participating in it.
So I would feel like, now I don't know if this is why my dad was doing it, but we can talk about this. Was my dad doing that because he enjoyed doing that with me? I went off to college and wasn't involved. You know, obviously he knows I have to grow, become a man, whatever I'm going to do. Is he just, like, in a weird way, selfishly saying, no, I'm just going to continue doing this because I enjoy it because
it's fun. Because
he gets something emotionally out of it, right?
Yeah, it's fun for him, right? So, and that's what I appreciate the people that it's fun for, that they just continue to do it forever, you know, like until they can't physically do it anymore. Because it seems like no one ages out of it. Like, I see people participating and giving out candy and, like, decorating their house when they're old. Like, obviously their kids are old.
Our neighbor, she likes it so much in Baldwin that it's one of the only holidays she'll appear. Like, she lives in other places.
Yeah.
And she's got money and has other houses. She will literally fly in or drive in and bring her whole family in. They decorate for Halloween. They'll do the Halloween in Baldwin, and then they peace out. It's crazy.
Well, it's such a... I mean, how many people come through here?
They had a buffet. Oh, I could...
Thousands,
100,000?
Right? Yeah, an insane amount of people come through here.
I mean, last night, if I just wrote when I was riding my bike around 100,000 people, I don't know.
Let's we'll end with this because my wife did get scammed from a Halloween costume, and I wonder if a lot of people. Yeah. So
I don't know anything about this.
I was dressed up in a red jumpsuit, and a lot of people. I put up the pictures on social. But
you were the Red Among Us guy, right?
Well, a lot of people are like, "What are you?" And that's. So my wife went to Party City, and I'll call them out because this is a scam for sure.
Oh, I thought that's what you called your zipper.
And that she got an adult Among Us suit so that I could wear. The kids wanted me to be Red Among Us, right?
Okay.
And so
he's the gay one.
She brought it home, and this is the packaging. I'll show Daniel, and then I'll show Twitch.
Oh, and he's got the banana thing on his head.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
You can get different things for your head.
Yeah,
some people have a flamingo or a baseball. Yeah.
So by looking at that packaging, right, and then my wife bought that, and I'll show Twitch and everything. What do you think comes in that costume, in that package?
Well, I would imagine it's the red jumpsuit and the banana hat.
You were wrong. The only thing...
I don't understand how I could be wrong because it says red suit and banana...
No, it technically says, if you look close, includes one-piece jumpsuit. So,
that's lame.
The only thing that came in that was just the red jumpsuit.
It's just a red pajama pants, or it's just a red Santa Claus.
It's a red jumpsuit, and that's it. Made out of whatever.
You can be anything if you're wearing a red jumpsuit.
But so that's what it came in. And Chris was like, well, "There's no head in this," and we looked, and it just says one jumpsuit. I'm like, you got scammed, because for sure you shouldn't depict an entire costume with a headpiece and the banana thing, and then that not come in the damn costume, right?
That's crazy.
That's definitely a straight up.
Hey,
scam.
normally I'm not on your side with these things, but that one bothers me because it's what they show on the outside of the packaging, and it's not like it's. Sometimes they'll do it. Now, granted, sometimes I've seen them where it's like it's the outfit, and then they're like, or they'll be like makeup not included.
Of course,
like, okay, I get that he had like $1,000 worth of Hollywood makeup done, and these suit
or
looks
wig.
like a crypt keeper or something. I get it.
Yeah,
that's weird, dude.
So anyway, that's why I just had a red jumpsuit, because the whole helmet thing.
Well, I knew what you were because of the boys. They're actually their suits are better than the ones I saw last night. I don't know where you got yours, but I saw a slew of the ones without arms, and I'm thinking all of these kids are going to have smashed noses. Because they're just in these suits.
The inflatable ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, there is like a slot I saw, because Crystal's like, Steve Lemmy got his sons the nice inflatable ones.
Oh, there's the nicer ones?
Yeah,
well, Steve Lemmy's a movie star.
I know. And then I'm like, but they can't hold their candy, and they're going to get tired of walking around in that inflatable suit. Like, I know my son. Tommy didn't even want to wear the GD helmet anymore, or whatever. 10 minutes into it, he's like, can I take this helmet off? And then Chris is like, no, you have to trick or treat with a helmet. I'm like, God damn, calm down, Crudilla.
Calm down, Crudilla. Calm down. Uh-oh, I'll make up for it now. Oh. How bad are you going to mess it up? Give it a whoa before you do it.
God damn it. All right.
Crudella DeVille.
You know what I was saying.
Goddamn Crudella with a Dalmatian ass.
Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. So, I was cleaning out a bunch of stuff this weekend.
Did you start crying, bro? Going through some memories?
No.
Looking by.
A couple things. One is I can't make myself throw away something, and this is a little hoardy.
I got it.
That because I should just be able to throw it away with no care.
Try hoarderish.
Hoarderish.
That works.
So, because I'm not emotionally attached to anything or whatever. This is different than being a hoarder.
But I like this with because I'm too emotionally attached to things. So sometimes I will just hold on to something. I don't even have an answer for what I'm even saying. There's no reason why.
So I had to take a bunch of stuff. My pool filter S'd out, and so I had to get a new pool filter. That was a stinger. And then so my pool guy took the old filter and put it on the side. There was a big piece of plastic or whatever, resin. And so there's that. And then I had some other bric-a-brac that I needed to take to the dump, right? So I loaded that back of my truck up. Then I put all the stuff I was going to take to Goodwill in the cab of my truck, because Crystal got a bunch of kids' toys
all
or whatever.
to the dump.
And no, because
it's just an extra trip. And they don't even want it, man.
No, but it's like
nobody goes to Goodwill. That's the biggest scam in the world.
There's like clothes, the baby clothes.
It's only making you feel better.
So I don't know. It does. It only makes me like books that haven't been
It's
used.
a superstition. It's as if you did the cross your heart Catholic thing. It's meaningless.
So, and then I went to our storage unit, which there were
It's hours, but I've never been there.
I know. There's two kids' high chairs from.
There's two kids hiding in there. My God.
There's two high. The regular Fisher Price standard high chair with the plastic tray that everybody has, right?
Do we need to give those to some expecting mom? Do we need to hook up a?
Well, Crystal's putting them up on the BDM parenting page today, but apparently not that many people are interested. Anyway, high
chairs are kind of out.
So I put the high chairs in and I took it to Goodwill, and then the guy comes out, and now they don't let you like drop off all your garbage. Apparently,
hold on. They got standards now.
Yeah.
No.
So now what they do, and
that's not Goodwill. That's Badwill.
Is because before
they pick through it like decos or one of those like I hated that. They pick through my stuff. They'd be like, we can't do anything. I'm like, that's Burberry, MFer.
So
buy that.
At the Salvation Army, there used to be like a warehouse behind the main store.
Hold on. Salvation Army and Goodwill, that's different animals.
It is. But we used to go to the Salvation Army, and people used to just pile their garbage next to the door, right?
Oh, it's the worst army. Worst army.
And they just piled their garbage next to the warehouse door.
The army, I'll need this.
And then some poor bastard would have to get there in the morning and be like, "Oh my God, everyone left the garbage." Like, I felt bad. Anyway, and then so now at Goodwill,
please do not leave your garbage.
They make you pull up, and then there's no bins that you could just throw your garbage in. They have a person.
Did you say that where you're like, "Where's the bin?"
Well, they have a person
I'm named Ben
that brings out the bin, and that way he criticizes everything that
criticizes. What did he say?
Or like says like, "Oh, we don't accept that. We do accept that." To all your garbage. So
these high chairs are disgusting.
Well, I went to go take out the high chairs to donate them to Goodwill.
Wait a minute, I see doo-doo.
And he's like, "We don't take these." No, they're clean, but they're used, right? And then he's like, "We don't take these." And
you don't
I'm
take
like,
high
really?
chairs?
They don't.
Oh, and you gave him the, oh, really?
No, I don't care.
I thought you gave him the sarcastic, oh, really?
No, are you kidding me? I'm sorry.
That's out of character for you.
I know, yeah. I said, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
I'll kill myself.
And then I put him back in the thing. So,
I would have liked it if you'd been like, you're not going to take them, huh? I'm going to make you take them, you mother.
And so I gave him the other stuff, which is just as garbage as the high chairs, but apparently, I guess there may be some standards.
Did you ask him? Did you say, out of curiosity and for next time, why don't you accept high chairs?
It's probably a safety thing. Like if the high chair is defective and they end up selling it to someone and a baby dies, or imagine that. So it's probably one of the safety thing, like high chairs, cribs, maybe
car seats.
Car seats go bad after a while, which is a complete fraud.
Just
by the
like
way,
motorcycle helmets go bad. All of this is fake.
Yeah.
All of it's fake. I use the same 1963 Buco helmet my dad, bless his soul, bought me at Bike Week 2011.
The same. Yeah, I understand the foam is a little less, but if you fall off at 60,
it
that
doesn't
matter.
Look as nice.
By the way, we have two car seats that the kids are grown out of. So she's taken now it's just a booster, right? Mm-hmm. So the actual car seat itself, the top is gone, and then soon the boys will be big enough to not even have to sit in a booster seat anymore, right? And then so we have these car seats, and then I'm like, well, should we donate these? And Chris is like, no, you can't donate car seats. They go bad after 5 years. And I'm like, go bad? What's wrong with them?
Spoiled.
And I'm like, it's just a plastic with foam in it.
No, Tom, it's spoiled.
It's a safe.
No.
In 25 years, it's a safe.
The molecules within the plastic have deteriorated to a point where this thing, if you said your son, it's a death trap.
It's a killing machine.
It's a killing machine, yeah.
But I'm saying, this is complete horse ass.
Of course it is.
A lot of people, including, I'm sure, not my wife, because she thinks the same. She doesn't like the high chair. I would feel horrible just because I had the option of just taking that high chair and putting it in the back of my truck with all the other garbage that I'm taking to the dump and just punting in the trash.
That's what I would have done, yeah.
But I can't bring myself to throwing away, a perfectly good high chair that's just going to end up in a landfill.
Yeah.
That's what that's where I have a problem with. I'm like, I don't want this to just end up in the landfill with a bunch of endless other garbage. Maybe someone.
That's why I only buy wooden. No, seriously, I buy only wooden high chairs and wooden furniture because at the very least I can burn them for fuel.
And that's better than plastic.
Yes.
I feel guilty.
You can burn plastic for fuel too, but it's that weird black smoke that gets in your boogers. I don't want no booger smoke.
I'm like, because high chairs are $100? It works exactly the same. There's nothing functionally wrong with it. Could someone save $100?
I had a rich ass one. Andrea bought some damn Italian. She bought some Italian baby seat. This thing's like $700. I'm like, do we need this? And then
someone will resell that. That's good for resale.
No, because of the same thing. They're like, oh no, you might have gone bad, and I don't even know what the Italian regulations are. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. What'd you do with it?
I'm sitting in it right now. I'm not getting rid of this thing. $700.
So,
the true story of that,
just give it away.
We held on to it for, I want to say we held on to it for 3 years past when we should have, because I had to give it away. Like you, It was driving me insane to think that something. Mine was a
works
little
perfectly
different.
fine.
Mine was a little different. Mine was like, I paid a lot of money for this. There's no way I'm just throwing it away. I cannot do that. That's going to drive me insane.
Yeah.
It wasn't about it working. It wasn't about it being in perfect condition or anything. It was just literally like, I can't throw this away because we threw a lot of money at it.
Yeah.
It was something.
Someone will appreciate this. Yeah,
finally, and it took some time, but finally we found somebody that wanted it and they got it. But yes.
So along those same lines, I had 2 IKEA book cases that I tried to give away on the BDM page.
Those are rough, though. Particle board is a hard.
I had a BDM, Jeremy. I'm gonna call you out.
Yeah.
He
They flaked on you, didn't
Yeah, he said he was gonna come pick him up.
Well, we
didn't
get
pick
his
him up.
address from the BDM site. We drive to his house and punt him in his front yard. You said you wanted it. You get him, big boy. You get a big talk.
It cost me no more time. I'm just joking around. It didn't matter. But
I think Jeremy's a liar, and he deserves his bookcase punted into his front yard.
He didn't. He ended up couldn't come pick him up.
Oh,
or
what
whatever.
What happened?
But I put him up on Facebook Marketplace. By the way, Facebook Marketplace, if you put up something that's like not damaged, you'll get instantly.
Does it work well?
What?
What's like the demo here? Where would you say
Poor.
Okay. All right, nailed it.
That's a demo.
No, I'm saying above or below Craigslist.
It used to be that it had the reputation of being a 1 notch higher than Craigslist, but it's now blended. It's all
blended.
Yeah. It's the difference between Uber and Lyft now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's
That
the same.
happened
Like
fast,
yeah.
fast.
Because everybody.
And I trust you because I know your way around a good parking lot deal. You are a parking lot dealman.
Well, all I want is to give them away and have someone come to my house and pick them up because that's worth it.
Well, you have a fire pit. Why not break them and burn them?
Too much of a because
but it's fun for the boys. Get my Sawzall, cut everything up, Pyromania.
Now, because I'm spending all day of Sawzall, I got a million things to do. Like I'm trying to clean out my garage. Like
right.
There's a million, and I feel like if someone can get some sort of use out of them, seems better than taking the time to break them and burn them. Like if someone needs bookcases and doesn't want to buy them, here we go.
The last dining room set my wife and I purchased, I used that Sawzall to cut it all into small pieces and I burned it in my backyard.
So this guy, he messaged me right away, like, "Hey, are they still available? I really need them for my garage.
I need them bad. Oh God!
I got a lot of books. I'm an
emergency nerd.
5 minutes after I posted on Facebook Marketplace, one picture and it said free. Anybody wants to pick them up in Maitland. And this guy was on it fast.
But that's how you know it's kind of a scam. Your eyes got too big for your stomach.
Well, then Crystal, then I'm like, yeah, no problem. Come pick them up. And then Crystal's like, it's a scam. She's so
I'm with her.
She's like. Samantha is like all cautious. She's like, it's a scam. I'm like, it's not a
Jeremy's
scam.
a goddamn liar.
This guy, he mentioned too many details. I could tell a scam, and like he didn't want any codes. And so he asked for my address. I gave my address. I'll give anybody my address. Well, who cares? Google Earth has your address. The internet has everybody's address, unless you paid an insane amount of money to get yourself
I
eliminated.
only know one of those people.
Yeah. Paranoid. Anyway, so I give my address, and then he's supposed to come. He's like, I'll be there today. And then
I'm texting you from my car, currently driving there.
And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I just want to get him away.
Couple streets over, on my something came up. Bye.
He's like, I'll be there today. He's like, don't put them out because it'll get rained on. So, like, if you don't mind, I'll text
the
you.
integrity of that pegboard.
Like, he was paranoid about getting rained on and all that. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Look, come whenever.
My Dean R. Koontz books are going to look fantastic.
So then he spent the next 3 days. He finally got them both, but he spent the next 3 days giving me excuse, like he would say, like, I'm on my way, and then it would be like a text later. It's like, oh man, this came up. My son
got corona.
Like he's like, my son's got to do this. I got to do that. And then I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like, come whenever you want.
Just got drafted.
And so then he'd tell me again, like, hey, I'm coming this morning after church. And then I'm like, yeah, no problem, whatever, I'll be here. And then he'd be like, God, I'm sorry, I can't.
Fellowship hall went a little too long at the ice cream social after church.
And then I'm like, what is that? Because it is something.
No, he was jockeying, like your bookshelves are being jockeyed for position on the priority list And he was working the details out. So occasionally things would take precedent. That's fine. Like, life gets in the way, and anything with his family is more important, certainly, than getting these bookcases.
Yeah.
But he was having to jockey it, and finally it landed, and he had a free spot, and that's when he got him. He jumped on him.
But it was a weird, and I put this in the category.
You're kind of like that.
Yes, bad at life. Bad at life, telling people what they want to hear when you have no clue how to organize your time right, or what amount of time is going to take to do, or like trying to fit in something in your schedule. I do this.
Yes.
And so I recognize the behavior.
You're way better at it now, though, man. I've seen you stop yourself where you're like, we can take that meeting, and then you'll go, no, actually, no. No.
Yeah.
We won't have. You're way better at it now.
And there's lots of reasons why I've learned. I don't know, like
it used
being
to
a
be
different place in life, like not being panicked at all times.
Well,
because,
I think you understand now. You're not superhuman. Like, you are one of the most capable people. I'm gonna give you compliments, so just get weird. You're one of the most capable people I know. And what I mean by that is I can give you a list of things to do on a Monday, and I can keep adding to it, like literally endlessly add to it, and you will get them all done. There are very few people that are like that. Like, your calendar, as long as there's a little bit of space on there, it can still be filled in your mind.
But I'll try to fit too much in. It's a weird.
It's not bad. It's not as bad as it seems.
And it's weird, like, to. It's something about, like, and I wonder if a lot of people have the same thing.
You're a dreamer. You want to get all that stuff. Yeah. It's a positive thing, right?
He wants these bookcases real bad, so he tells me, he's like, "I'm coming now."
Yeah.
That's how he feels.
Yeah,
it's mixing his emotion with being bad at life and bad at organization. And I say this because, like, this started on Friday night, and then he finally got him a Halloween afternoon.
I love it.
But it was 5 different times of him texting me back and forth with, like, "I'm coming. This came up." Like, It's weird. It's just like, hey, and there's no, like, they're here.
Yeah, no
like,
rush.
there's no
They're
rush,
yours,
like,
man.
Come by whenever. Like, it's weird that there's so many different things going on chaos wise in your life that you try to fit it in, can't do it. Fit it in, can't do it.
Can I make a counter argument to that, though? See, I kind of like what this guy does. Because in the version I'm writing in my brain about this guy, the things that came up, now this may not be true, so follow me here, but the things that came up in my version of what I'm creating with my imagination is that family things came up, something with his son, soccer match is going a little too long, and he's like, I'm not going to be able to swing by time, right? So everything he's going to do instead of getting the bookcases has been prioritized over it needed to be, and is in, like, family over everything, right? That's kind of the version I'm writing, and I like that. I need to be more, like, I'm the type of person now, there's a negative. I'm the type of person where, let's say I'm over watching Maisie in a play, and I told you that I'm picking up the bookcases, and the play's running over. I'll stay at the play because I said that I'd stay at the play. I'm obligated to the play, and for some weird effed up reason in my brain, I'm not allowed to leave because I already said I had to do it. Rather than looking at it case by case and prioritizing and being like, well, it's okay to leave early. It's okay. No. In my world, whatever I said I was going to do is what I have to do. That's why I get so weird about schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
I once it's locked in, I like to keep it locked in. And almost to a fault.
It does, like, if you wanted to save money, like, there's a lot of people that are willing to donate their kids' leftover stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we give away all our stuff,
all the clothes and stuff. Like, I mean, you could
I gave some stuff to Hunchuck, I think.
Yeah,
when he had his baby.
And that seemed like we'd done it with all our friends, like Max and Tommy's all leftover clothes. We'll send them to the Grizz or whoever's having a new baby or whatever. Like, and man, if, like, you find the right person that has a kid that's like 3 years older than your kid, like a friend, you can get all the hand-me-downs. Like, the money you'd save was ridiculous.
Meaty Joker. I get a lot of his daughter's, hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
I get some good stuff,
especially stuff that you use for 3 years and then that's it. And
kids
the kids don't give a damn.
They grow so fast.
Like, who cares what clothes you use when your kid is between the ages of 0 and 8? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you could essentially clothe your kids for free if you had a friend that had a couple kids that were a little bit older. They just got all their hand-me-downs.
Yeah.
Because no one cares about giving that stuff away. It seems like people are happy to give it away, right?
And, well,
if
like-
you could use it, like, I'm happy to give it to you if you could use it. Like, I'm not going to start nickel and diming like, give me $8 for this bag of clothes. That's stupid.
When do we get to the age, I don't know anything about this. When do I get to the age where what my daughter's wearing will be teased?
What do you mean? As far as, like, my other kids?
Yeah. She's not there yet. Is that a middle school thing? Like where...
Well, no. I mean, it happened in elementary school if your kid is wearing something super weird. Like, but that's the parent's fault. Like that.
Yeah.
Like, remember I made the
I dress
joke?
Maisie like Little House on the Prairie,
Like-
but like all the boys. Gray slacks, suspenders, yellow shirt, small farm hat.
Like, I made the joke. I remember kids in my maybe more middle school than elementary school, but there was like always one or two kids that dressed really like over the top, weird and nerdy. Like they were wearing like orthopedic shoes and like not even medical shoes, but like some sort of like weird. Like generic brand, big fat shoes, right? Like, and then like the clothes.
You got fat shoes.
They were wearing like traditional men's slacks, but like right underneath their tees. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
old kids. You're talking about old young kids.
But it's like, why did your parents dress you like let you leave the house like that?
Those are normally Maisie has a chance of becoming one of those.
What? No, the Maisie's.
No, those are all only children. For the most part, only children. Like Maisie's only. Most of the time, she's hanging out with adults, so she's a little more adult. There's a term for this. It's like New York lonely boy is what they're called. It's like seriously, it's from a show. Tina Fey invented that, by the way. I don't want anybody saying I'm stealing jokes. That's a Tina Fey joke, I believe. It's like a kid that grows up in the city. Only child, they're called New York lonely boys. They literally are little adults, is what they are. They dress like little adults, and they stay, and they just grow until they're a full-size adult. But they're an adult.
Yeah, they're an adult, yeah.
That's what Maisie is becoming, and it's creepy, dude. It's New York lonely boy, and you can look it up.
Hold on, but she's got her dance friends and the school.
But at the end of the day, all she's got is us, and that mouth never stops, and she's just talking. It's just like it's literally like having a female butler. She's a butler. It's like having a female butler in my house. If she starts to like Star Wars, I'll kill myself.
She does like the grandma sweaters.
Yeah.
Like dress them like Andrea.
She dresses like her. She likes little dresses. She likes. Yeah, she's definitely that.
But no,
that's a thing. So those kids you're talking about.
But she's stylish. I'm talking like, it's one thing to dress like your dad if he's got like he wears normal clothes. Like, I don't care if you have like regular jeans and a polo. I'm talking about weirdo
old man clothes because it's what their dad is an old man, so they dress exactly like him.
And their dad and mom have no idea what kids do and
they're not
dress
on social media.
So they're dressing them in slacks and like putting pocket protectors in. Or something like that kind of big,
like big dress shirt, big serial killer glasses, thick ass wireframes.
And then the other kids would single that kid out and be like, "Look at him, get him! He's dressed like a weirdo. Why does he dress like an old man?" And then
they wonder why that kid becomes a serial killer. Because my dad dressed me like a serial killer, and all the kids hated me, so I had to kill them in self-defense.
Yes. So that's. The weird to me is when the kids start dressing like a New York lonely boy, because that's the parents' fault. Because the parents are not looking around and seeing what other kids dress like. As long as you dress your kid, even if your kid's a weirdo, like Tommy's a little weird, he's out there, but as long as he looks like all the other kids, they won't get him.
He's fine. He's a comic book kid.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying
he's got that imagination.
I'm a weirdo.
He's not what I'm talking about. There's a quintessential. There are these kids that, and Maisie has, I think, the highest percentage of becoming one because she's an only, where they just take on adult qualities, and then they start dressing like Maisie's already wearing, like what her mom wears, are tiny jackets. They are purposeless jackets that my wife wears. The most illogical thing she wears. It's a jacket that...
A fashion jacket.
The sleeves, even if it's a half-sleeve jacket, they'll bring the sleeve up an inch so it's not quite a half sleeve. Or if it'll be a three-quarter sleeve. Then the waist of the jacket isn't at your waist. It comes up like right around like under your tees.
Yeah.
So it's a matador, a tiny little matador jacket. And my wife has a collection of these dumb little matador jackets. She had like 5,000 matador jackets. And And anytime I screw up or do anything bad, I know the way to her heart. If I want to make her happy, I just swing through one of these old lady shops in the mall. I get her a little jacket. She loves baby jackets. And Maisie now wears these little jackets, and she's creating a little old lady.
Is that just more about who Maisie is and Andrea is? Like, they care about fashion and because my sons
are your sons is being vegetarian who they are?
No,
or did they pick
right.
it up from their mom? Is what Maisie doing something she picked it up from Andrea?
True, yeah. And I guess picking up not caring, because my sons could care less what they dress like. Although Max, if we put on a shirt that's like a shirt that he maybe wore in kindergarten, he'll say like, "This is a baby butt shirt." Like, so he wants to be cool, but Tommy doesn't give a damn. Max naturally wants to be cool, so he doesn't want to do anything like for too young of kids. He would rather skew older. You know?
May does that. She's like, "Well, I don't watch that anymore. That's for babies."
But has no idea like what cool is as far as. Although anything he wears looks cool on him, like because
Max
he's naturally cool. Like
Tommy
lanky scarecrow.
Well, the way he moves too. It's just the way they move.
You're natural. Like so. Like
Max is like hands in pockets doing a pose, and Tommy's kind of spidering around. Like,
that's ingrained, man. That's
Which one in the family is more like is Crystal Tommy, or is Tommy just a like what is that?
It's a blend. There's a blend of things. Tommy definitely has my core personality of not caring, not being emotional.
Fine.
But he's like creative, I guess, which I kind of am a little bit. And Max wants to be cool.
No, you definitely are creative. Please don't say you kind of are. I have to do this for a lot longer.
But anyway, but it's a weird blend. There's kind of this and that. But Tommy definitely has more where I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I was like, just not talking, well behaved kid, getting on my own. I didn't have like when I was at school, I didn't have like a big. I was never cool. Like I always ate lunch with whatever the nerds were. Like it didn't matter to me. I was just eating lunch.
Care. Yeah, I'm eating lunch. I'm not here to socialize. I'm getting nourished.
But I wasn't that weird. Like I wanted to eat lunch with the hot chicks and like be the cool kid.
I didn't get to do that. I was short.
Just couldn't.
Short kids do not get to eat lunch with the cool like the hot chick.
No, yeah.
But I'm a disgusting animal. Seriously, to those kids, they're like, I might as well have been that. You always make the joke. I might as well have been that lumpy boy from the 300 movie. Just tossed me over the cliff,
deformed.
And they can say it too. It was at a time when you could say it. They'll just say, "Ew, you're disgusting." I actually had a girl tell me, "Ew, you're disgusting." You're disgustingly short.
Yeah.
I have heard that phrase.
Yeah. That's rough, man.
That's rough.
Yeah. I never got
that. Will make you want to eat lunch with the nerds. They won't call you.
I got people thought it was a girl because I had long butt cut hair, and I have a female looking face, especially when I was fatter,
smooth.
But I just would ignore, like, someone's like, "Hey, there's a girl walking by," and I was just keep on walking. Like, I would just ignore.
I wouldn't.
It wouldn't hurt my.
Like, "Oh, you're so disgustingly short." I'd be like, "F you," and then they beat me up.
Yeah. Because you have to chirp back at them because that's your personality.
I have to chirp. I chirp, and then
like, you didn't hear
chirping me with their fists, chirping my face.
And I was also like, I do look like a girl, so it's logical for that person to think.
Not Tommy with the rocks. Like the rocks when he tried to he's like, "I like these rocks. They are fun."
Yeah. He didn't look at it like they were bullying me. He's like, "He gave me rocks in my backpack."
God, you guys try to be logical. Next thing you know,
it's a better way to live
because Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on your shelf.
You don't take everything like an attack. You take it the opposite. You're like, they gave me these rocks in my backpack. He thought they were dinosaur eggs.
But they hate that. When the bully finds out they are like, "I like these rocks," I'm going to beat you up extra bad.
Yeah. I don't know how it works out. It's different in all scenarios. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. So you're in the market for some overalls.
Okay, well, there's a story behind it. People just aren't normally in the market for overalls, and I understand that the style cues of overalls, you have to be I believe, a creature person in order to pull off overalls.
That's very insulting to Big Tim.
Well, I mean, I think...
Also very accurate.
No, but I think Tim knows. He's even said this before. He's like, "Baby, you got the tattoos, and you got the, you little, and you wear the hats and everything, and you could pull off the overalls, because, you got the look." That's actually almost a perfect quote. So anyway, yes, I am in the market for overalls, but I really don't know which way to go. And the reason I'm sad and now said purchasing these overalls is because my wife threw out my goddamn overalls. She hates them. And 10 years ago, when I was moving to Baldwin Park, my wife was going through the closets and getting rid of stuff, and I've never really had something. It's the old, it's a stereotype. It's the mom of the house threw out the dad's coach's shorts because his balls would hang out of them. It's that old thing, right?
Yeah.
The mom, the matriarch, always finds the most comfortable article of clothing that the man has and traditionally throws it out as a sign of power. And back in the old days, you could retaliate for doing so, but now you can't.
And she says it's
kick
because
the dog or something, like
I feel like the wives throw away our favorite clothes. They say it's because it's stupid, they look stupid, and it's embarrassing.
This is foreign to my household.
Yeah, she doesn't do this.
We don't mess with each other's clothing.
Yeah, she doesn't do this.
You don't?
She told me that this morning. I didn't even believe her. I'm like, you're a liar.
Why would I? Why do I care?
That's a great question. Maybe you're an evolved human being. I give you nothing but heaping helps of...
Well, it's not mine to throw away.
I understand that. And the fact that you recognize
if
that...
If he had thrown away something of mine, it would be a problem.
How would you feel if your husband went into your garage and found a trash bag filled with your favorite jeans, your Bongo jeans, and threw them out?
But that oil
I'd be fine with them because they're in a garbage bag in the garage.
Yeah, but you put them in there so you had all your bongos in one spot.
Usually the stereotype goes
insane.
like this: is that a husband or wife?
It's usually coach's shorts.
They keep something around and they keep it in the rotation of what they wear because of nostalgia, because it's comfortable, whatever they want.
My dad had green bike coach's shorts, double snap on the top. He wore them when he played softball. They were his softball shorts, but he loved them. But they got a little loose fitting and they got a hole in the crotch, so my mom threw them out.
But then it turns into this weird bullying thing where the husband starts to wear the thing that the wife hates the most more just to bully or troll the wife. I did this with my big rig shirt. Yeah, I've talked about it a lot of times.
So you buy things that she will hate just so she will throw them away.
No.
Well,
you wear the things that she hates in order to drive her crazy. She throws it away. You pull it out of the trash. It's a love language.
Yeah.
You pull it out of the trash.
Insanity.
You wear it. You go to the mall. You're wearing it. It's
pure insanity.
You threaten to wear it to like family reunions and stuff, and then you have to follow through so she knows that you're not full of BS.
Now, usually they're big talking. They're like, I'm going to throw this away one day, and they never do. Your wife actually took the next step and threw your overalls away.
I don't know if you know this. She's not a big talker. She's a big doer. She does things. That's her job. Her business is handling stuff.
She must know you didn't really like the overalls, because if it was like your prized possession overalls, I doubt she would have thrown it away.
Well, here's the interesting thing about overalls, especially being a Florida man that loves overalls. You don't get very many opportunities unless they're your main clothing to wear them. So like Big Tim, sure. It's part of his costume. Exactly. It's part of his everyday uniform. For me, overalls were a treat. So I go into my closet. We had built-ins, which, by the way, I enjoy built-ins. I know that a lot of people hate them, but having your closet built into the wall just saves space. It's awesome. Anyway, go into my built-in. Can't find them. Where are my overalls? Where'd they go? I could have sworn I had a pair. Where are they? Liberty overalls, the green tag. Where are my... Honey, where are my overalls? Nothing. Honey! I threw them out.
Now,
gone.
I saw you. I've seen you wear overalls one time in my life. So maybe she's like, you never wear them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
You're hoarding the overalls.
What had to be, typically it would have to be cold.
I have short overalls, so
I don't think I can pull those off.
I saw a lot of overalls this past weekend.
Can I do short overalls? Is that a thing now?
You'd have to get them a certain length, because if you went too
help me.
long of a short, then you look like Chucky.
I'm standing here hat in hand to you. Help me.
You could do short, but they got to be real short. They got to be chubby short.
Oh, so tiny.
Yeah.
That's novelty.
I don't think that's
Well, then you got it. Then go full pants. Then
I want to go pants.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go pant. Now I've had some people say I should go for the Carhartt overalls. Carhartt.
Is that a brand?
Yeah.
Carhartt.
I think it's Carhartt. I'm not a farming man. I'm not a hunting man. I mean, I appreciate those things, and that's not my lane.
I've never in my entire life worn a pair of overalls. Ever. I've never put them on.
Not even as a child?
Not even as a costume.
No, it's a child thing, right? It's an
No,
old man
hold
child
on,
thing.
Or
maybe-
a working man.
Well,
I mean,
I
You know
think
what?
it's
farmer.
I lied.
I think
had
it's old man child thing.
Oshkosh bagosh
Yes.
overalls when I was like I'm a little kid.
Well, this guy out here, the dumb old man that we see every day, he wears overalls every day.
Yep, he sure does.
And he looks so happy. Should I get white?
They're
Should I get
comfy, I
painters?
guess.
Should I get white painters overall? Okay, here are my choices. I'll throw them out
Go
here.
khaki.
I can go the brown Carhartt, like the traditional, like I believe that's a duck canvas. I can go that brown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
duck bib.
I can go black. I can go blue. I
Like
think
denim.
and then I can go like all variations of denim.
They seem too utility
For me,
to
because
for
I'm too
you-
sedentary.
Well,
Well, at least you won't have your shorts falling off your ass like you do now because you guys refuse to wear a belt.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think a belt is proper when the width of the belt is longer than the width of the short. My shorts are so small that if I put a belt on, then I'm just wearing a belt over my shorts.
and that's because
And these are my shorties today. Today I'm running my, what I like to call my pube catchers. Like these right here are literally 2 centimeters off the balls.
on.
I mean, it's a dangerous game I'm playing down here today.
because overalls they're for the working man and woman.
I don't think they are.
Train
I think
conductors.
I think they became
farmers.
that.
Painters?
I think they
Painters.
became that. But I think everybody can enjoy the grace that is overalls. I think it's for I think it's the every person.
No, I think they started as working man and then became fashion.
I bet you, like most
But they're
things, they
horrible
probably
fashion, though.
started in the military.
They look goofy.
So I think they look cool.
They're super cute ones for girls.
Like, I think if I had those on with just like a T-shirt, I think people look at me and they're like, well, there's a guy that takes his podcasting seriously. That's a man that...
it's
Because it's all I'm going to wear. I'm going to get 5 pairs Monday through Friday. Overall, 2 overalls.
Now, I enjoy the not having to think about what you have to put on and just wearing overalls.
One
every
pair
day.
of brown.
Steve
Could go
Jobs.
back to jumpsuit.
I've
instead of overall.
wanted all of us to wear jumpsuits.
I'm in for that, for sure.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Butler voted it down because he likes to mix and match his footwear with his shirts and his little...
We'll have to get short sleeve and long sleeve for the summers.
The jumpsuit. I wore a jumpsuit for the Halloween costume and
It's a better way to
Myers?
live.
no pockets.
No pockets, so you're
well,
like a lady out there.
No,
I put my cell phone in my underwear.
I was saying the jumpsuit that I had no pockets, and I had to put my wallet and keys around.
Your waistband and your boxers.
Well, no, in like I have this backpack cooler that has like a stomach.
Oh, your purse. You had to put it in your purse.
I had
It's
to
his
put it in my
White Club purse. That's fine.
So if you have a jumpsuit, you need pockets in your jumpsuit. That's all
But
I'm
see,
saying.
overalls have multiple pockets. In
Yes.
fact, the overalls I'm looking at, these Carhartts, they have engineered the front of them to have an iPhone pocket. Like it fits perfectly for your iPhone. I can be a digital farmer. I'm a digital farmer. That's what I do. I farm words on the internet.
But we can all agree that you look a little goofy in overalls, right?
Are you saying that only I do because of my height?
No,
Because
just
I'm
like
sure. Do I look?
it's like why are you wearing that costume? That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Because
Big Tim gets away with it because it's part of his
Okay.
character. But-
Because I am disfigured and
Yes.
handicapped with my height.
yes,
Legally, I think if I apply,
probably
I
could.
think I could get
like a parking pass.
write that down for Mo.
Okay.
Apply. For
Seriously,
parking pass.
I'm like
He'll be- yeah,
take
he'll be
advantage of
there.
everything. Like
Well,
Andrew-
I'm kind of mentally handicapped. Can I get my parking pass?
yeah, we'll do it
Okay.
together. We'll do it together.
Write
We'll do
it
like
both
medical
down.
marijuana. They don't deny you. I heard. It's just like medical marijuana. You go in there, you're like, I'm short. They're like, yeah, disfigured. Write it down.
You don't have to prove it, right? It's like, what is it? Just like the service animal? You just apply for it online and you get one.
They don't make it all like take a photo holding a USA Today in your wheelchair. They don't make you do that.
Yeah, do they? Like, what is it? Just an online thing?
Not
I
a
feel
thing.
like more people would scam the system.
Yeah,
or
same.
back
yeah.
to my
I feel like you need a
overalls. Sorry.
doctor's note at the very least, right?
Do overalls
I can
help
get
me
that.
or hurt me as a disfigured shortman?
I think they're going to hurt you.
Really? I thought it
Yeah.
would make me. I thought it would it's like putting overalls on a doll. It's
Hold
like
on.
everybody loves a doll with overalls on it.
So like
Most dolls, in fact, boy dolls, come with overalls. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't. You can't.
But do you want to look like a doll?
I already do. I look like an alcoholic doll. Everyone knows that.
See,
disfigured alcoholic doll.
you know the Saturday Night Live bit where the guy of limited intelligence is too strong for his own good and he kills all the animals he's trying to pet?
Oh, like Of Mice and Men.
Yeah.
Lenny.
Yeah. He wears overalls a lot. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's like that. There's a little bit of that.
Have hipsters and millennials worn overalls enough to make it okay for me to
Yes.
wear them, and they're a
That's what
fashion
I'm telling
thing?
you.
Okay.
There were tons of overalls this weekend.
Okay. It's a thing. Well, okay, no, hold on. That goes too far. If I wear Carhartt overalls, will I look like I'm a try-hard trying to be cool? Because, trust me,
Yeah.
I do not want to be cool. I know I'm not. I literally just like the way that overalls feel.
Yeah, like if you came in here smoking a pipe with a monocle, I'm like, come on, get that. I'll slap it out of your eye. Because I'll be like, you can't, you don't do that. That's so I feel like the overalls is a little like,
So
hey,
I can't.
look at me.
I can't get them. Then is what you're saying.
You can. You will get made fun of.
You can do it, but you have to do some hard work.
Because there's two things I want.
You have
that
to lift
are-
something.
You can do it if you just don't care what other people think.
I was going to say two things. There are three things that I'm in the market for as statement pieces for my life. One is overalls. Number two is I want a flat brim, like a wide. I'm a genuine article American singer-songwriter hat.
Yeah.
I want one of those. And I
Okay.
also want a ginormous statement ring to wear on one of my hands.
Yeah.
These are three things I want. No, but I won't wear them at all the same time. You can't do that.
Okay, because the world would implode.
No. You wear
those and the Crocs.
No. Crocs are their own statement piece.
I'm always jealous of like people in this world, like a Cam Newton.
Yes.
I'm like, what are
Freedom.
you doing?
It's
like,
freedom.
You're
And he
what they
loves
want.
it.
You're expressing yourself.
But you already
It's
do
weird.
it.
I hate expressing
No,
myself.
but you do it by not expressing yourself. It's almost like those guys that say I got no game, but they're so good with the ladies. You're like, yeah, your game is to have no game. I hate those guys.
I don't know if I've met one of those guys.
Yeah.
Usually when they say that, they don't have game.
Yeah. But I see
Maybe
what
I'm
Daniel's
that
saying. But that's part of being naturally cool.
I might be that guy.
Okay.
You have to be naturally cool.
You have to not
to
care.
pull off.
It's just confidence and not caring.
You have one of each.
Which you don't have, but you think you have.
His son has it. Max has it.
Max
naturally.
has it. I'm not that.
Max can put his hands in his pockets and instantly he goes from a 3 to an 11 in cool.
Yeah.
Like he just
He can wear overalls. Tommy can't. He looks like a scarecrow, stick man.
Yeah.
They're like, oh
Ooh.
God, they're
You know
gonna
what?
beat you up.
You know what's funny is that you summed up this whole entire topic perfectly. If we put Max in overalls and put Tommy in overalls,
Yeah.
and they look exactly
Only
as
certain
alike,
people can pull it off.
They
yeah.
will
Yeah.
will receive the love of overalls in different ways. Tommy will look like a costume.
Yeah, the world will beat Tommy up and look at Max
and
be
Max,
like, that
looks,
guy, he's got the goods.
is he a rapper? What is that guy? He's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Ah.
It all has to
He
be.
released a single on Spotify. Like he looks like a cool dude.
The overalls are inside you.
Write that down. Write that down.
Only-
Inside. Inneralls. Inneralls.
Like you,
Tom and Dan Inneralls. It's the overalls for your innards.
like only the chosen ones can pull the sword out of the stone. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
And you never know until you put them on, and then the world knows.
Now,
they
how do
know.
I rock my spindles? Is that what they're
What's
called?
that?
The spindles. What are these things called? The
Straps?
The,
What
my,
is it?
my I don't know what those things are called. My lifters.
It's just
My grapples.
suspenders, right?
Oh, is that what they're my? Do
It's
I
a
do
form
I
of
It's called
suspender, right?
straps.
do I
don't
leave
know.
one off and one on?
Like salt and pepper.
I believe no. Was it salt and pepper? They did that?
I think so, right? It was
Like early
90s
90s?
hip
Oh,
hop.
crisscross?
No, they wore things
What-
backwards.
Also the...
Salt and pepper. The you know you
I thought that was TLC.
Oh, TLC. I
You're
think
getting it all mixed up.
The 90s were the reinsurgence of overalls and like it being cool for a small. I mean, Tupac wore overalls. Remember,
did.
like, Tupac.
So how are you guys talking me out
Yeah,
of
but
overalls?
then-
If Tupac can wear overalls, then they're epically cool.
No, but that and if
Again, it depends on who you are.
if you were
know what I mean?
96,
I'm Orlando's Tupac of Talk Radio. They know
Okay.
that. That's what I'm called. In case I may be mistaken, but
Yeah.
I have heard myself at least 3 or 4 times referred to as Orlando's Talk Radio Tupac. I've heard that.
You're appreciated.
Dear mom.
Have you heard that song? It's
Yeah.
like I don't think any like you because Tupac was considered like a hardcore gangster, right? At the time.
Yes, but he also like knew ballet.
He's
so,
a street poet.
That was
He's
a part.
street
That
poet.
was a part that, like, back then it was like the perception is reality. He was more of an artist than he was hardcore gangster, but
He was a street poet.
you had to pull off hardcore gangster at that particular time. And
I like
beef
the
with,
way you activate your hips and push your ass out. Got a blank, wanting it so bad I'm about to pass out.
I'm the same.
That is street poetry.
Like, no one questioned it with the love song to his mom. Like, you appreciate it. Like, we appreciate you, mom. It's like, well, that's kind of song.
Fun fact: that entire song, both of his spindles strapped on.
but real
Both
men
of
in
them.
hip hop always take care of their mamas.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That
true, I
they
guess.
always
yeah.
sing about
You
it.
know who else takes care of their mama? Big Frida.
Yeah.
Big Frida takes care of her mama. You like Big Frida?
I don't know who that is.
I'm glad you at least admit it.
Allow me, sir. This is the Big Frida's awesome. Big Frida is
Big Frida?
Yeah, Big Frida is, I believe, a Nolans music artist, and it is a specific type of music. Is it called bounce?
Yes.
And Tom, this
Yeah.
and it goes. It's like, let me see. I'm gonna find some Big Frida for you, and it there's a bounce to it. In fact, my dream would be for you to dance to Big Frida. Can I play it? No, it's explicit. I think I can take this one. Play this one here. Let's see if this one goes here. Here's some Big Frida. Okay, here we go. All right, feel the way the beat goes, and you're just shaking the whole time, and your butt just going like that. It's like that.
Bitch, you better.
Yeah, it's
you know
that.
Big Frida?
And your ass is just and you just get on the stage and you put your hands on things and you just ding, 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 and that's it. That's it.
My frog ass does not do any dancing. Here, it's stiff. Flat and stiff.
You and I both have, and I just noticed mine yesterday. I'm starting to get a melted candle ass.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
that happens. Yeah,
It's where
a droopy old man
at
ass.
one time I had a tight. I mean, that thing was ready for some overalls.
You get some squats.
Plastic surgery.
I need no.
Oh, do
is
the
it-
Madonna.
The skin is too worn out from sitting down billions of times, right? Like,
Yeah.
so my ass now, the cheeks,
melting.
the gluteus parts have
Deteriorated.
and they've fallen into the bottom. It's like an old pillow.
Jesus.
It's like an old pillow where the stuffing inside starts to separate. It loses all integrity.
Yeah. When you get old, you turn disgusting.
Damn it.
I'm serious. Well, I'm just telling you the truth.
Are you telling me how you feel in your core?
I'm just telling you how I feel.
Even if you're skinny, look at Iggy Pop. Disgusting.
Yeah.
He's like a melted candle.
Yeah, because you're just dying, and then it's like, wow, you're disgusting. Your body is disgusting.
So of course I want overalls. I'm not going to walk around nude.
Yeah. That's man.
I hate walking around nude now.
I'm gonna get plastic surgery. I think.
You know, every
What are you
morning,
gonna get?
every morning when I wake up, my stomach it's a different shape. That's not good, right? That means organs are swelling, contracting.
It's just,
I don't know what the hell's going on in there.
It's just you're becoming old and disgusting.
Thank you.
The people that get the plastic surgery. Listen,
I wanna get it
I don't
early.
Know, I don't know any of his business, but Mark Merrow, right? You see him, and I think he's in his like mid 60s.
60s,
Like
yeah.
he just turned
Middle
65 or
60s,
whatever.
yeah.
Now
and he did I saw him do it. He did the marrow salt off of a boat ramp into or like a boat dock into the water.
And you turn into a lion, like I said, but it's better than turning into Disgusto or Barfo, right? Like you'd rather be a lion than disgusting, but
Well, and in some cultures they say I'd rather be a lion than anything.
yeah. I mean, your lips.
You know what I
get
mean? Like,
your
who's
face
the king of the jungle? The lion.
You're like, why is your face so puffy? It's like, that's what it takes. Like you just got to puffy out your face.
surgery. Eventually, I'll become full lion.
It's a way to like smooth out the wrinkles. Obviously, the Botox
Why-
and the stretching. and
Why
all
do
that.
you always take on a feline? Is it because everything pulls back and then
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
you just have fangs and a cat nose?
It pulls back and gets puffier, so your lips and your cheeks are puffy from the Botox.
The Botox.
The Botox. And then it's like, I mean, no offense, like Carrot Top, kind of lion-y, Mark Marrow. I'm trying to think of other lions out there.
There's a lot of lions.
Women lions. What's her name?
Tigresses, I call them.
Famous for plastic surgery.
A lot of them.
She was Rivers.
Joan Rivers?
Joan Rivers. She kind of.
You know, I always think of, and this shows my age a little bit because I don't think most kids would know who this person is, but I would go Melanie Griffith and Meg Ryan because here are two people where it seemed like the pressures that we put on women, especially in Hollywood, were so great that they felt like they you know what I mean? Like they had to do that for their career, and that's weird.
Mark McGrath, a little liony.
The weird thing about him is that it's a little red.
Yeah,
I can always tell, like...
but, I mean, for his age, looks better than all, me and you, for sure. You know, he's a beautiful man.
How's his candle ass?
He may have got that fixed, too. Surgery...
You don't talk about that,
You
though,
could
right?
fix everything. Like
Madonna must have been having the candle ass, and it was melting, and then she was like, I can't have this
I don't
anymore.
even think it was that.
And then
I
she
think
got
she literally just wanted to be trendy, and she knows that that's what's in now.
Isn't
as,
it
like,
super
sexy.
dangerous, though, right? That,
It can be,
that,
yeah.
like, Brazilian butt implants, like, that's like people, like, 1 out of every 5 die or something.
You
It's
cut
insanity.
that thigh
don't cut
vein
my
in the
thigh.
back.
If you
bleed
go
out to death.
No.
The irony, if you go to Brazil, that's the most dangerous part of it. Like, getting it in
Well, I
different
don't think
countries.
Madonna's going to Brazil for
No,
it.
I know, yeah. She's got the best surgeons in the world, so it's relatively safe, I would imagine. But that's what I'm saying. Like, surgery, you can eliminate all that. Like, the droopy ass, the body, your face. Like, money could solve it.
They can.
It's just
Money rules everything around me.
going through. And then, like, imagine I start looking a little more and more lion-y.
You're
It's kind of
seriously considering this, aren't you? What are you going to get done?
I don't know. Whatever everybody else does. Like, I'll ask. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ask the pucks.
Well, you need the calf implants already.
My legs.
Dude,
my legs are the most
You know what you
embarrassing.
should do?
I saw a picture. I was like, oh my God.
You know what you should do?
Yeah,
Your
I gotta
hand-
look at those
something's
things every
wrong.
day.
No, if you just need to wear and one basketball shorts, it'll cover them up.
Yeah, if you just wear pants,
No, but I want
you want
short
to show
shorts.
them off.
Can I get
You need to get
thigh implants?
You know
Because
what
my
you need to
thighs
get?
need to be bigger. My thighs are the same size as my leg. Like, they're sticks.
You
Yeah,
know what
they
you
are
need to
sticks.
get that'll help. It'll help your leg. Wow.
Can I get fat injections into my thighs? I want big fat thighs.
big fat thigh? Why don't you get a Mondo pecker?
There is quad augmentation.
How does it work?
I don't know.
It's
I'll have
called
to look into it.
quadmentation.
We do have a guest here, though, so I think we need to go to the
Oh, I bet he's got big thighs. Oh, I love his thighs.
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome to another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. Butler's here. Hey, you can watch our show. I have dubbed it Orlando's strongest stream because it is. It's the most consistent stream in Orlando, man. You can jump on Twitch, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, and watch our live stream Monday through Friday. We usually fire up the studio around 10:30, and then all of the replays are on YouTube later that evening, also under Tom and Dan Live.
And November 4th, Sofa and Suds races.
14th.
I'm sorry.
Yup.
November
You know
14th.
Sean Connery's dead.
November 4th. Is that today?
Yes.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
November
Technically
14th.
yesterday, if you're listening to this on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
You know the best part of that is I was ready to go. When he said November 4th, I was like, he moved it up. Let's roll.
Let's go.
14th, November 14th, Sofa and Suds, downtown Sanford, right in front of the West End. Everybody knows where it is.
Yes, sir.
Daniel and I are hosting it. We're going to have new merch out there. Races start at 2. Big thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, justcallmo.com, and Secured Roofing and Restoration.com. And also Gabriella Plants is a sponsor, Maggie Dogs, a bunch of others. Anyway, a bunch of stuff going on, food trucks. It's free. You could bring your pets.
Yeah, it's
and-
like a quintessential, iconic Sanford event. If you've never been down there, you owe it to yourself and your family to come check it out because it's certainly one of the most creative and unique things I've ever been a part of, and I love being down there in historic Sanford, just chilling out, having some beers, and watching people race furniture.
family friendly.
Yep.
We're not going to be cursing on stage. We do the racing of the kids at one point.
We do.
So come out. Angel's going to be DJing with us on
Yeah.
stage. So we're going to have some help with some music. And you can watch some sofa races. Our sofa, by the way, Butler showed us some pictures of
Looks
the
good.
medium. He built the frame, and
Coming to get you.
We could be in contention to beat Audi this year.
Coming to get you, Audi.
So, real quick, I'm going to set this up just because we got a guest online that I'm going to get his opinion on all this, because it's taken me about... I've never been so fascinated with a particular topic that I have been with this. And
I think you can speak for a lot of the show. I think you can speak for a lot of our listeners that this is a very hot topic, and we're about, I don't know, is it 40-60? 50-50? It's a lot closer than I thought it would be.
More people are convinced this works than are not.
Correct.
I've gotten more people that swear by it than are skeptical
That's
of it.
my 60-40 number. 60% of the people that I feel like we've talked to say that this works. They're not saying it's 100%, but they're saying it's damn close. And then 40% of the people are saying it's magic, it's fake, it does nothing.
So on our Halloween special, just to recap, the person on the ghost tour brought out divining rods and was using it to find ghosts. And I started talking about it in last Friday's podcast, our Friday free show, and started talking about how people used to use these for water, not knowing that it was still prevalent and a lot of people still use them. And we got inundated with, not only we took 2 calls on the show, but I got a bunch of emails, and then I made a post on the BDM page, and
hundreds of comments.
And there are so many people are like, yeah, it worked, don't know why it works. And then
somebody dropped it on Reddit, thousands of comments.
Mm-hmm. Someone made a post. They're a part of some golf course
it's a
landscaping forum.
Yeah, it's a landscaping private forum.
Facebook page, and they made a post like, hey, I was on this about divining rods, and then they took screenshots, sent me 6 different screenshots
It's
of
crazy.
pages of people like, yep, use them all the time, works. My old boss taught me how to use them. I was skeptical first, it works.
I went online and to Amazon and found companies that make them, and I bought us.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pumping them out. They're making them right now.
So we're going to have a discussion about divining rods, because I researched a lot about them, and I think I figured it out. And I thought, now at first, I was going to bring on like a professor of physics to explain how this is impossible.
Know a professor of physics.
I actually got in touch with the UCF physics department, and they got back to me that they don't have anybody that can go on like the radio to do this. But
I'm sure we could get one of. But I realized that having a physics or a science teacher explain that there's no science behind this whatsoever is kind of boring, because there's nothing even close to science behind it. It's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
So it's like there's not much they can explain. There's like, yep, there's nothing that would make the rods move, water, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So, but I am now almost completely 180 back to, I think they do work, but not for the reason that a lot of people do. And I want to talk to a friend of ours, a friend of the show.
I miss this guy.
That knows about being a mentalist. He knows about trickery.
Yeah, he does.
He
also knows how powerful your mind is if you can get it in the correct state.
Our good buddy, Kosha Kimlad. How you doing, Kosha?
I am wonderful. Happy to be chatting with you all. This is blowing my mind that this centuries-old idea is gaining so much steam and popularity, but it's easy for everyone to have an opinion about it. So I can see why so many viewers are confused and all over the place about it.
Yeah. Oh, and the people that I like the most, and this kind of falls back on what I do with magic, are the people that are willing to just kind of let it go and be okay with it. You know what I mean? Like I like the fact that there are guys that have emailed us and said, and this is a little weird for people. They've said, "Oh yeah, I still use them every day. Totally don't believe in them." You see what I'm saying?
I don't believe it's magic.
Yeah, I don't believe it's magic, but I use these.
And it works. And they're like, I don't know why it works, but it does. And that's the number one thing, Kosha, is and this is why I find this particular topic so fascinating, because in most supernatural topics, like let's say people that believe in ghosts or people that believe in reincarnation or anything supernatural, orbs or energy and stuff, there's always and I'm fine, believe in whatever you want, it doesn't matter to me, but it's always kind of like, this particular situation happened to me, this is why I believe, this is what I saw, so or this is how I feel, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, it's fine, and everybody has a different experience, and that kind of thing. It doesn't fascinate me as much because I understand why people believe in that, and it's fine. But with this, it's a tool that people use in their everyday business and in their everyday work, and they're convinced that and they tell me, they're like, I don't think it's magic. I don't know why it works, but it does.
But it is part of their workflow every day. Yeah.
And so many people were convinced that, like, listen, I know that there's no science, and they would tell me, they're like, listen, I don't think it's magic. I don't know why it works, but it does. So that's what fascinated me, because I was like, why do so many people think it does? Like, it works, right? Like, there has to be something behind it. And then,
you and I have been talking this out in the afternoons, and the only possible thing where we both kind of agreed was that we think that people that are all in on this and believe it are able to hold these divining rods, whatever they are, and then they're able, through like almost repetition, through being comfortable, they're able to get themselves or get their mind in a state where almost subconsciously they're able to use the knowledge that they've gained by being a surveyor or a pipe finder, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, irrigation person.
It's almost like we think they've set up their mind. It's almost like a form of meditation using these divining rods. That's the only thing that...
Yeah.
Am I explaining that correctly?
Yeah. And I have this theory about this, but let's start with the beginning of the science behind it. And I'm not sure, obviously, if you look, there's no actual way that two rods can locate anything underground, pipes, running water, and
it's a pseudoscience.
In fact,
It's like the fortune tellers, right? You can use tea leaves, you can use coffee beans, you can use all these things, but the actual tool, right, whatever it is you're using, is usually a smoke screen, right? It's not the real thing. It's a fortune teller doing a cold reading on somebody and just paying attention to the person. But we as humans, we need these other tools for some reason, right? We have a history of these things, and it's understandable, right? We want to find water. We've been using this for centuries, and so. I understand why it's been around for so long. I have two real questions for you. Right? First, we can look specifically at this particular case of these divining rods, dowsing rods, and figure out why they work and why they don't work and what's behind it. But I'm also more fascinated in the bigger picture of why we believe these things and why we don't change our belief structures despite evidence, despite proof or lack of proof. People don't want to change their mind. That's what I'm really fascinated as a magician in, because I see how easily people believe things and how our belief structures are formed. And I constantly meet people who are like, we know that's a magic trick, but this is still real, right? And they give me an example of some other wacky things. So, clearly there's two things going on here. We can get specific about the divining rods, but there's something more about our nature and drawing towards believing in things and wanting to believe these things.
Right, yes, that want, yes.
Well, it's interesting. Our human brains, I listened to this in a book in that gambling book, why people are so dead set in their beliefs. And we, apparently, they're evolutionary, psychologists that have studied this, that humans, basically, it was advantageous to our survival to deeply believe in whatever we believe in, because that would keep us alive longer. For instance, anytime a bush or rustled or whatever, we would believe that that's a tiger behind there or danger to us, and we'd run. And it was better for us just to dead set believe that than to question it, because the questioning
that used to be the most common
could
outcome,
kill
right?
us.
Yeah.
So it was better for our survival to deeply believe in whatever we believed in and not question it. I don't know if you've read something about that.
That makes sense. Absolutely. No, I have, of course. And so if you're looking for a well, right, if we're talking about, thousands of years ago, centuries ago, if you're looking for water, well, it's much easier to be like, hey, I've got this tool. I've got a trick. I've got a way of doing it.
Yeah.
I've got someone that can do a dance and make it rain. Like, of course, it is about survival. We totally understand. And that makes perfect sense. Nowadays, I'm blown away what you had said earlier, that people for their work are constantly using it and doing it. So maybe to return to your question of how is this possible, well, let's just look at it. What's the probability of success if you use a pencil, if you use a pen, if you use a stick, your fingers, whatever it is? If you don't have that tool, can you be just as lucky? And I would say yes, statistically. James Randi, the magician, had his $1 million challenge, and he tested people on these dowsing rods, and not a single one of them can come close. when it was like statistically set up. Like, let's test it. We've hid these pipes with water under the ground. Let's see what you can find. And no one was ever able to do it. But when you're just a guy on a golf course walking around and by pure chance it happens to you, oh yeah, you're going to have that story to tell the rest of your life to people about this magical power you have.
And there's worth to that, yeah. And there is value in your mind to that story. Yeah, so, that's interesting, man.
Kosha, so here goes my theory, and tell me if you think this theory is valid, right? Because I started looking at it, I'm like, okay, so let's, there's nothing in the rods, right? There's no way the rods work. We saw the Amazing Randy's test.
We bought some, they're just metal rod. They do nothing.
Oh, by the way, so many people said, go out and try it yourself. Like, everybody kept telling me to try it myself because, then I'll see. So I have a theory about all this. So anyway.
Yeah, because it's don't knock until you try it.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Well, but so the Amazing Randy did this, Mythbusters did this, and under a perfect experiment where they were able to run water through pipes, no one was able to replicate actually finding anything from divine. So they basically debunked the actual rods themselves doing anything, right? But here's my theory, and tell me if you think this could be correct, Kosha, because you are a mentalist and you know the power of subconscious thought. So
he already knows what you're going to say.
So and I'm just going through the golf course thread. So let's say you are a landscaper at a golf course, or you are the caretaker of a golf course, because a lot of people use this in the golf course industry.
18-hole or like a little par 3?
Like 18-hole to find irrigation pipes and to fix them.
How long have I been there?
You have a couple years experience or whatever. Anyway, someone showed you about these divining rods and whatever. So the overwhelming majority of people that email me are like, I don't know why it works, but it does. And then I'm like, well, if it was just pure like randomness, because there is there's science behind like, oh, why do the rods move? Well, when you hold something in unstable equilibrium, subconsciously through tiny muscle twitches, you can Idiomotor response, exactly. I knew Kosha would know. And the idiomotor response is what's causing the rods to move, right? But that is happening with your brain. So your brain is basically
it's like micro calculations.
Making an idiomotor response that's causing the rods to move. So your brain is doing this, right? That's the truth about it, right? So your brain is moving the rods. But why is your brain moving the rods to statistically, because everybody did say like, hey, they don't work 100% of the time, but it's like 75% or more. And I'm like,
because the positive of finding the water releases dopamine? Is it nothing more than a fix of being right?
No, because I started thinking about that too. I was like, well, maybe they are just thinking about the times they were right and misremembering all the times they were wrong. But I was like, no, it can't be this level of people that are convinced they work. So my theory being, Kosha, is if you work in this field where you are a landscaper, you know about irrigation or whatever, right? Obviously, everybody in this field is the one that's using these divining rods to find irrigation pipes or some sort of pipes underground. So you go out there on the golf course, your brain, you hold the rods and you think the rods are telling you, but technically it's your subconscious, your brain doing a bunch of calculations based on your knowledge, your experience, where you know kind of how they lay pipes on the golf courses, like they lay them vertically or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like you have experience in your brain.
Yeah, you've gathered all this knowledge and your brain knows this knowledge whether you're activating it at the right time or not.
And so you're not even thinking about it, but your brain is subconsciously and therefore leading you to a general area where 75% chance they're going to be in this area. It's not just totally random. It's like your brain is doing the math.
So these rods are putting you in a position where you can activate the knowledge that your brain has already gathered?
That's what it seems to me.
That's a stretch. That last sentence, I don't know if they're putting you in that state, but they're it's a tool that allows you to release, maybe, if I were to tell you, find the water, right? That would be too much stress and pressure.
Right.
But now you're saying this tool does it for you. And so, you're relaxing a little bit, and you're letting
Interesting.
So, Kosha, do you think that could be because now there's the only way to, I guess, prove this is to have that same person make an educated guess. But what I'm thinking is that person, if you ask them to make an educated guess of where the pipes are, maybe they would overthink it. They would not let themselves relax enough for their brain to do the calculations. They'll be like, I think they're here. I'm going to go opposite.
anybody who failed the test put up by Amazing Randy would be like, oh, but the cameras are messing with my brain waves. I can't do this now. Like,
well, I
everyone
believe
will have
in
an
that.
excuse if you run this as an experiment. If you run it as an experiment and people fail, they're going to have an excuse and an explanation for why it didn't work, and then they're going to be by themselves with a stick on a golf course doing it again, and they're going to be by themselves yelling, "I told you so!" I know I can do it.
The most fun part for me to watch, and we have tons of these videos of people doing it on our webpage, are the people that do it and it's so perfect. Like the rods are, like they're very smooth, they're very fast. It's almost like they just, you know what I mean? It's almost like reps with the rods. But they're so in tune with the rods now that when they, like that one guy that uses them, when they bend in, I mean, that thing looks legit.
But it's also in his own backyard where he has knowledge of where the irrigation is.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it looks so real. It really does.
So you've got a couple different things, right? You got the probability of finding water, right? Where you are, the land, how likely it is that water is there, and we don't know, if you were to guess anywhere, what's the percentage of you getting water in the first place, right? You need to know what that is to begin with. Then you've got this tool, and you've got the ideomotor response, and you've got that physical connection. And for anybody else who's interested, you can look at like pendulums, very, very similar thing, a little thing hanging on a string, and you hold it by your fingers, and it's the ideomotor response making it move. But I've worked with lots of magicians and mentalists who fool audiences of thousands into believing that they've got some psychic power working through this pendulum, and people talk to dead relatives using these pendulums when it's nothing but a physical response. So here's what I want to say is that as a magician, I know that the best kind of magic, the kind that really fools people, that they have no explanation, has multiple layers working together in order to hide the secret. And you have a physical element, a psychological element, and then you have the fact that what people experience and what they remember is different from each other. So I think we have the same thing here. We have the probability of success of just finding the water with or without the thing. Then we have the fact that people already know, and they have intuition, they have prior experience. What you mentioned, they already know the ground, and they're much more likely to find water with or without the stick. Then you've got the ideomotor response of the physical stick convincing them, so they have the confirmation bias. And then what you mentioned is the forgetting, right? They forget how often they failed. Reinforcement of the times they got right. The storytelling that they get out of it. So all of these things start coming together, and then it becomes this like web, like a spider web, right? That's really fragile, and any one of these points can easily be dismissed. But when you bring them all together, that's why we have such a large group of people who are like, oh no, but it works, and that's why it feels right. There's like an element of truthiness to it.
Yeah.
Because all of these separate elements, psychological, physical, mental, intuition, all these things is combining together to fool ourselves. So now I think the question is, well, does this harm us or does this help us as a species as we move towards, understanding our universe? And I would argue that following pseudoscience does bring harm to us in the long term. And while it's entertainment, people forget that it's entertainment, and then they may say, "Oh, I know it's a lie. I know it's entertainment. I'm just doing this for fun." But in reality, if they think about it that way, then there's other areas of life where they're going to give up control and not look for the real answers and be willing to go to a fortune teller or read their coffee leaves. Right. And a lot of people do that for entertainment. Right now, psychics even virtually are making billions of dollars.
Yeah, they are.
So who am I to knock this? But I think it's important for us as a species to be a little more rational.
So, Kosha, I'm going to get a little more out there here because I'm now going to argue the point that they do work, and I'll explain, right? So, let's say, but they work for a reason that may be cockamamie, but there could be a point behind it. So let's say you work as a irrigation person for a golf course, right? And so you have years of experience. You kind of, you've seen where they've laid irrigation before.
Yeah, you're familiar with how the golf course runs.
Yeah. You have a bunch of knowledge that will give you a better educated guess than the most layman, right? That doesn't in this thing, right? So is it possible that the divining rods are just a tool to help your own brain make the best educated guess, and therefore you can make the argument that they do work just
to ease your anxiety.
To help your brain. I think
that's what he's saying,
Yeah, to just help your brain. So literally, you do have a higher likelihood of finding the irrigation pipes
Because you're using the tool.
Using the tool, even though the tool's not doing anything, but it's a way to trick your brain into relaxing enough or whatever to do the calculations to make a better educated guess than if you didn't have the tool and you overthought or maybe said like, Well,
the tool isn't doing anything, but the tool still serves a purpose as being a comfort for not having a tool, right?
And I equated to this, Kosha, as like there have been studies where people have taken placebos.
Sure.
And the placebo actually, healed them or whatever because they literally thought they were taking like the cure to whatever they had, but it was nothing but a sugar pill, but they actually got better, and then it's unexplained, and you're like, well, it could have been a million different things. They could have just naturally, your immune system could fix it, but it's happened enough where it's like, man, there's something behind your brain thinking that you're being healed. And so could it be where the divining rods are actually... They are helping people find the pipes only because it's helping them relax their brain to do the subconscious calculations.
So then in that case, the science will eventually show what part of our brains, what allows humans to be able to pick up on these certain things. I mean, there's always going to be, that's why there's a difference between the pseudoscience, right, and the scientific. There is most likely, if it's so consistent, right, if it's statistically significant that it happens enough, then there's got to be a scientific explanation of how humans, or some humans, are able to get to this. But I think what you're relating to as far as the actual rod is just like magicians having wands. We have thousands of years of shamans and their sticks, and it's because we as human beings, very scared of the environment, we didn't put power into the human. We put power into nature, into sticks, into objects.
Yeah.
For as long as we've been alive. So it makes sense that we would transfer this power onto a stick that would give us this power.
I mean, it's
we're
on
afraid of
brand,
our
right?
own power.
Yeah, like when you're listing wands and bow staffs and all these things that people that are mystics, wizards, and all these people have, they have one thing in common. They all have sticks, so they can chill out and use their minds.
So, I kind of made this correlation. So let's say, I know about how to gamble properly. I've read a lot about it or whatever, right? So I know, what the lines are worth and what numbers, you should and shouldn't gamble.
How do you gamble the best, though? What's your tool to relax you enough to make the best decision?
Well, let's say I had some magic sticks that I swore, I'm like, where my magic sticks point at the game, that's the game that wins more often than if I pick it myself without the sticks,
You should totally do this, by the way.
So the sticks don't do anything, but what they do is kind of take the pressure of me overthinking which bet is the best, and they use my brain.
It also gives you an excuse, right? It gives you that nice out, because if it doesn't work and everything fails, you can go, oh man, my sticks were bad.
It's like I'm using my knowledge to pick the best game, but if I did it without the magic sticks, I may overthink it and be like,
too much is on the line without the sticks. With the sticks, you get a buffer.
And so is there anything behind that, Kosha, where it's basically, like I said, you're using the divining rods just to make your brain work better?
Yeah, it's an interesting way of phrasing it, that you're using it to make the brain work better. That's what I'm not sure that I can agree with. But I see why you're making that statement, because I get the idea of releasing the stress and putting the onus on the stick. So certainly that feels really good. I guess the question is, are there any tests that can be done, and will those tests make a difference? I don't think there's any test that we can put together that will, even if we're 100% sure that this is correct, either way, will change anyone's mind.
Right, I agree with you.
Kosha, what's interesting is they've already debunked the actual sticks and the science behind that. Like Amazing Randy, Mythbusters are like, okay, the sticks don't do anything. But no one's done a test to see if my theory is correct, where the sticks actually help the person make a more educated guess than they would without the sticks and them just making the guess.
Well, it could be anything, though, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be sticks.
Well, somehow it's only been, with these divining rods and the irrigation and the pipes, this is the only, honestly, the only thing that I've ever seen in current day 2021 that's ever been like this, where people are using magic sticks and don't believe in magic, by the way. No. They don't believe in supernatural stuff, and they don't know why it works. And that's why I'm freaking out, because I'm like, why are they so it has to have a better probability than without the sticks for them to be continually use them and for this many people to believe.
And I think you just said the word, right? Probability. And the fact is people don't understand probability.
Okay.
People don't understand math or numbers. And no one in real life right now uses math and statistics to have a good understanding when something is statistically significant versus it's not. And so we're just screwed as a species because the things that feel good to us are going to be what people are drawn towards.
Yeah.
No matter whether you present them the right math, because the right math might only show a very small percentage difference, in not using them versus using them, and that won't be enough to change anyone's mind. They're going to be like, yeah, well, it's okay. I'm still going to continue.
You're right, because it's like they're not hurting anybody. They're like, whatever. Like it's like a no big deal, but it is ridiculous.
I wonder if you'd continue to use these sticks if every time you use them, you took 1 hour off your lifespan.
What's interesting to me is that if people, all these people stop using the sticks, if they could just guess the pipes with the same probability,
they won't have the right.
That would be the test.
Yeah.
That would be that would be the test to see if people can go out there and whatever it is that they're looking for, whether it's water or something else, see if they can do it without putting the pressure on them of, hey, this is a test, let's see if you can do it. It's more like, hey, we found all the people that are really gifted with these sticks, and now let's give them all different kinds of things. Let's give them nothing, and then again, that's the point. My point is that we can do all these tests, and even if we find out the statistical significant truth,
doesn't matter.
Then no one will give a damn.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Kosha, what is that? It seems because I'm constantly, and this has hurt my friendships, my workplace, my marriage, where I question everything, and I'm so skeptical of everything. And every time I see a video my wife shows to me, I'm like, that's fake, and it drives her crazy. And everybody's like, just enjoy life. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm obsessed with knowing
just
what's
enjoy
real,
your sticks, man.
Knowing why something like, and
this guy doesn't enjoy his sticks, Kosha.
As soon as someone told me these sticks are BS, don't do anything, I would immediately stop using them and be embarrassed to use them.
You should have seen how mad he was when I bought the brass ones on Amazon.
Why, Kosha? Why don't people care that things are real or not?
Yeah, man, that's the question. Like, for me, the big thing is why don't people understand that there is an actual harm to this? Like, when I hear people say there's no harm to that, I disagree because I think there is psychological harm. There's long-term harm for us as a species to believe in the wrong things. It just slows us down from moving forward. But it's because we have had thousands of years of belief and intuition and feelings about all these things, and we only have a few hundred years of good science and mathematics, which most people don't use or understand. So, myself included, it's all complex. So instead, you go with your gut, right? And there's lots of really great books right now about that, about intuition and the placebo effect. And so I think the more we study it, the more we understand. I now do a survey of my audiences, right, virtual and in person, where I'm like, how many of you, believe in magic and really love this experience? And how many of you, raise your hand if you're very skeptical and you don't believe in any of this? And for 10 years I've been doing this, and it's always like a quarter of my audience is like, I'm very, very skeptical. A quarter is like, I believe in everything. And then half are just like, whatever, I'll go with either way. So I think as a population, and from the books that I read on the placebo effect, is just some of us, our brains and the chemicals in our brain wire us to believe different things and more things. And so it's just like it's a personality trait. It's chemically inside of us to do this, and it's just that what we believe in changes over time. But our willingness and desire to believe is chemically implanted in us.
Kosha, I want to talk a little bit about the power of the human brain, because
it'd be a good book title for you.
There's two things about the human brain that fascinate me. One is that how much stuff we don't know we could actually do is in there, and accessing that stuff, and then also how easy it is to trick the human brain. And let's start with how much stuff is in there. So there's tons of stories, and I'll see them on social media of people that. And usually it happens if they hit their head really hard, but all of a sudden they'll start speaking a different language, or they'll have some sort of mathematical ability that they didn't have before.
I can tell you every Tuesday since 1950 till now what day the week it was.
There's a story about a guy who hit his head. He took like Mandarin Chinese when he was I remember in grade school, and then now he could speak almost perfectly fluent Mandarin Chinese. and like people are like, "What? How is this happening?" And so
he has to use rods though when he does it. It's weird.
But that was in there, like in his brain, and he just had to access it. And then there's tons of like proof of like therapists putting someone under like a hypnotism and memory, like remembering memories that they never could have brought up, and like so your brain stores a lot of information, and so that's interesting. And then also on the other side, it's really easy to trick our brains, and a lot of magicians like yourself, and I've seen online, like a lot of TikTok people, I call them TikTok magicians, they'll do these mentalist tests, or they'll write something on a mirror and then be like, think of a vegetable.
I think I'm so weird. I'm always wrong. Like, I'm
well,
so
insane.
weird. Yeah, I'm an insane person.
Yeah.
So when I do those, and I hate those guys,
I'm
glad
bitch.
I get them all wrong.
I get them he guesses it every time. I'm a basic bitch. My brain works like they want me to want it to, and he guesses it every time. So let's talk about both those things. First, how much your brain actually remembers, and the computing power of a human brain that we don't even use. There is a mystery behind that, right?
Oh, I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. I think, definitely for this, you need to get the doctor of people on the line to tell you all about that, about the brain. I'm a layman on that as well, too. But surely I agree with everything you just said. It's incredible what we haven't uncovered yet. But again, hopefully with progress in science, we're going to understand that there's nothing supernatural, that it's all natural.
Yeah.
It's just we don't understand it fully yet.
And then the suggestions.
Yeah, all of that to me is what as a magician, what drew me into psychology and the human mind was how easy it was to influence people and how similar we all are in the way we think. So, I'm not here trying to ruin any magic, but when you watch magicians do something for you, if it's pre-recorded, right, if it's on TikTok and you're watching it and it works for you, well, the amazing thing isn't really how did this person read my mind. The amazing question is, wow, am I really just like everybody else?
Yeah.
Is it statistically significant? Because clearly, more than 50% of the people watching this video are gonna not fall for it, but they're gonna follow the mental processes and be led down the path in order to make this decision. And as a magician, you start as a teenager doing these simple psychological tricks for people, asking them some questions, asking them to think of something, lead them from one thing to the next, and you're like, oh my God, this is significant, statistically significant, where I'm consistently getting these things right, and it's not like I have any magical power, it's just statistics, but because the people you're performing for haven't asked 1,000 people to do the same thing, and this is their first time in life someone asked them to think of a vegetable, and they're like, oh my God, how did you know that I was thinking about a carrot? That's unbelievable.
Right.
And so that's why magicians get credit, and mentalists especially get credit for powers they absolutely do not have, and then they're very willing to accept credit for those powers as well. So that's a different matter. But yeah, no. It makes perfect sense. And again, like it's similar to me that when people take a personality test and they're like, God, how did they know so much about me? Well, it's like, well, you gave all the answers. Right. You just told the system everything, and it just took that and spit it back out at you with a different outfit, in a different look. Yeah. But it's exactly the answers you gave to it. How are you amazed by this? So same thing with these psychological experiments and magic tricks and all that stuff. It's amazing when it's the first time. But as a magician, you get hooked on it because you're like, God, why is this working? Why is it that people are consistently saying the same thing, thinking the same thing? And then you realize you can fix your verbiage, you can change a word or two, you can change how you move your hands, what you say, what you do, and that has effects on people. To me, being a magician is like being in a laboratory and testing something on every audience. That's why it's so much fun, and to see people get fooled.
Yeah.
It is
fun.
But there's a part of like, come on, people, we can do better.
We got to go see Kostya again.
I know.
And are you still doing your dinner shows?
I'm in the metaverse now. You got to come see me in the metaverse.
Oh, all right. I got to fly into the space.
Actually, I have been 100% virtual. I'm still virtual. I've been home with my babies, and I've done more magic for more people around the world in the last year. I had the best year in business that I had in 20 years because I just embraced this virtual world, and I've done like hundreds of these Zoom performances for it's been mind-blowing. So my team is back to doing in-person shows, and we're back. We're at Christner's every Saturday night doing close-up magic. I can't wait to be back in person. Like, I do miss it. but I'm one of the maybe like a dozen or a couple dozen magicians that embrace the virtual world.
Yeah.
And I love that. So certainly, if anybody wants to find me virtually right now, they can. But it's not pre-recorded, right? I'm not like on TikTok putting on videos. It's still all about the live experience.
Yeah, it's live. It's live. I got to be careful. It's not real. I don't want to really be careful what I say here, but it's 100% live. If you've never seen Kosha, it's absolutely an amazing show.
And Kosha, where can people find you?
Yeah, if you go to kmagic.com, the letter kmagic.com, that'll take you to my website. You can find all the social media and connect with me, say hello. It's a crazy new world. I've been doing this for 23 years, and this last year I've done 2 card tricks for people in the last year and a half physically, like in person.
Crazy, dude. That is insane. But I'm selfishly happy that you just get to be around your kiddos. As a dad, Tom and I are newer dads. I guess we're older now that we have kids that are inching towards 10 years old. But still, man, like what a happy accident to be able to do that. Still have a good year and be with your family. That's great.
Because in the past, you would have to be flying around everywhere and traveling, constantly gone. So. Some things positive come from this whole thing where, it's nice to look at that. Or it's like, all right, instead of looking at all the horrible, it's like, this is cool that this happened.
Yeah, there's really nothing we can do.
Absolutely.
Change your perspective just a touch. But, hey, man, thanks so much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate you getting on here and trying to make sense of nonsense when we bring you we bring you things. We always bring you something that we're enamored by, and I am always comforted by your explanations.
Yeah, no, you guys, I love that you guys take these ideas and these things very seriously. I know how many videos you watch and everything you post on. You do your research, you learn about this stuff. So I'm 100% with you, and I think that your listeners and everyone should have a critical mind. I get why we're drawn towards these things. Again, it's just part of human nature. But I would encourage everyone to just think a little deeper to say, well, how does this affect the way I approach my life? How does this correlate to the other things I believe about my children, about schooling, about whatever it may be, right? We say that there's no harm, but there is some kind of impact. And I think that when you believe in things despite or because of the evidence, it should teach us something about our own selves. So it is worth digging into. And I'm glad you all are talking about it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Kosha.
Take care. Give some love to the family. We'll talk soon, okay?
Take care, guys.
All right, man. Be good. I keep telling that same thing to EJ.
What?
I keep telling him. I'm like, you believe you're entertaining and you're not. This is doing harm. It's doing harm to you.
See, the more I look at it, the more I really do think that there could be something to the divining rods only to help the person think of what they're looking for, like in a better way.
I put it in the same category.
It's like a placebo rod, but it actually does.
I know placebo rod. You, sir, are no placebo rod.
Like, for instance, let's say before I gambled, I go back to gambling because it's like there's a chance.
Isn't it just baseball superstition? I mean, isn't it no difference than if you walk up to the plate and you don't have your lucky socks on, you're not as comfortable. Boom, that's it.
And then it's like, well, every time I do have my lucky socks, I hit, and then therefore,
or I have a higher percentage. How many times have you struck out wearing your lucky socks? Once. How many times have you struck out not wearing them? 15. Oh, must be the socks.
Yeah, but now the socks do nothing, but mentally
they set you up. They comfort you.
They are like, oh, I have the power of the socks.
Security blanket.
So I think maybe it's like, oh, I have the power of the rods, even though they do absolutely nothing. And I want to make that clear, they do nothing.
And yours is even more dire because the socks are big, grandiose, baseball. Yeah. Let's take that out of equation. Let's just take it into micro. Like what did he say? The when your body or your mind is making the decision for you, it's
idiomotor movements.
Okay, idiomotor movements. Okay, so imagine this: you get out your rods. You're not doing a big grandiose. You're just getting them out and you're ready to go. Your brain is so powerful that as soon as you're activated, you get that box out. As soon as you're pulling those rods out, your brain is actively starting to set you up and put you in a state where you are able to find these pipes. Right. Yeah. This whole process of getting the rods, bending them over, putting them in your hands, and then you get in that position. Well, there you are. You've achieved homeostasis, or you've achieved this wonderful, comforting area for your brain, and then your brain goes, I like this. Let's find these pipes, and then
and something like that. I think that is what it is. And there's no other explanation beyond that, except for, like Kosha said, that it's complete random and no one's remembering all the times they missed the pipes. But I think it's more than that. I think that it's helping them be relaxed and make the best educated guess that is more educated than if they didn't have the rods, because they may be overthinking it or not comfortable with the fact, or not even trust their own knowledge. It's got to be something close to that for this many people to believe it.
To me, like, also, it's like when you reinforce that, like if you're a company and you send these guys out in the workforce to
the county does it,
to dig wells, and then you buy them the rods, you're reinforcing.
Yeah, the wells, maybe, I read some stuff about, like, a lot of areas, depending on where you are, there's water everywhere. It depends on how deep you dig. So, wherever the rods tell you, you'll find the water. So there's a lot of that. But in our specific case, it seems like all irrigation pipes. You know what I'm saying?
Well, around this area. What about the ghosts?
Yeah, but what around this area? Where isn't an irrigation pipe in Baldwin? So if I pull these out and I walk out there and they cross an X and I get a shovel and I dig, there's going to be a pipe down there.
No, because, well, I guess it depends on what place it is. But I contend that if you work in irrigation, you're going to know that they follow probably the sidewalk or whatever, that kind of thing. And that's why they believe it works. Anyway,
I agree with you.
I think we're done with the divining rods now.
Right. Get it.
We're going to. No one's changing.
Put a rod in it. We're done.
No one's changing their ways. By the way, anybody who hears this is going to be like, "I still work," and I don't even fault you because maybe they do.
What do I do with these rods?
Stick them up.
I like that. That's the proper. You know what? That was the right answer. You win a prize.
Stanley.